Hello, everybody, and welcome back for our second day of action here, Lumids. We had quite the starter there, even into our qualifying round. The start of the day did not disappoint yesterday, and we're running it through to the grand final today with some maybe unexpected frontrunners here in my books.
Yeah, a couple unexpected frontrunners, but still, the top three were pretty predicted, especially the top two. Spark and Iridium coming out with a great showing out early, showing dominant speed, especially in the seeding round. 200 points they gained on the field just in the seeding round. And yeah, I feel like they're the ones that beat, but 42 I think has been on a tear. But we have heard inside information we've also seen in the record books, Gex. You got to talk about Pran here.
Oh, absolutely have to. Pran, during the day yesterday, from beginning to end, looked like a different player, and he's continued that overnight. Some major new PBs set now, and is in the top 5 for record holders on every single track now. Even holding second on one there, I believe it is Mudvayne. He's holding second on. So, and Condrill, actually. So, two maps. He's second place now in. So, possibly, actually, another, runner for that top 3. Especially if 42 can't get it together here. We did see some inconsistency there yesterday, and 42 was one of our expected frontrunners here.
Yeah, 42 had a bit of unfortunate events, and I think a couple of the later rounds, especially on the later maps during the seeding, which also cost him into the later rounds as well yesterday. Because when you get the rough seeding, you come against some of the top players in the first matchup, which he did, which sadly knocked him down into the lower bracket. But I believe 42 in his upper bracket final here can really strive and hopefully put it up against Iridium and Spark. But you can't doubt out Scorpion as well. He's in the upper bracket final for a reason as well.
Yeah, well, we've got our current standings as well today, so let's have a look at those as we run through our brackets from yesterday. We did see Spark really holding very strong there as well, up until he found Iridium there in M5, as you can see in the top half of that bracket there. Iridium taking out the first spot, and Spark falling into a second place here. I think Iridium really trying to defend his position. He wasn't able to do so through qualifiers yesterday, and did drop only in the last 2 runs of the final track to Spark's runs there. So Iridium definitely trying to hold on to this here.
Yeah, and like we keep saying, Iridium and Spark are so neck and neck right now. It's anyone's tournament at the moment. It's just, the question is, can anyone put it to them too? They're the ones that are at the top of the game, but like we said, Pran's coming up. DB was another good shout, but I think sadly DB's been knocked down to the lower bracket as well, which could cost. But we've seen a lot of runs.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen what DB can do when he is an expert on a map, and I think that's the big thing there. DB knows the maps because he created 2 of them. However, as soon as he got onto something that maybe he didn't have them practice on, that was where the difference is made. So really seeing that come through here, that practice makes perfect here, and that's making the difference here for the likes of Pran as well. You don't get the improvements that we're seeing out of Pran without this kind of major pushback in just practice overnight. A crazy amount of time put into these tracks to push these records back.
I feel like Pran was a bit upset with the results yesterday. So I think they just put their head down, focused up, and grind a little bit later on in the evening, and it's really showing. But is it going to show during the tournament? That's when the consistency does matter. But like we said, 42 we were expecting to be easily top 3, but had a rough couple maps. But consistency is key, but Iridium and Spark are showing it.
We did drop off a couple of players before the end of yesterday as well. We sent home Divi, Zyrek, and Instinct. Big shout out to Zyrek there, who didn't really get the chance to compete for that. Unfortunate for the tech issues there for Zyrek. But a great race there. Some pushbacks from Instinct at times as well. Really saw that there were good top paces set. It's just about getting this consistency in for the lower half of this bracket now.
Yeah, Zyrek, unfortunately, with the net issues yesterday, couldn't continue on with the event halfway through the round, which is the unfortunate way to go. But still, yeah, the consistency is the main factor here. And Instinct couldn't quite get that going in that lower bracket round 3 against UTIC and Prime. But I feel like UTIC is an underdog coming into today. When I feel like Albatross as well can upset a couple of people as well today.
Yeah, and saying that, I'm gonna make a shout out here and say I would love to, once we drop down to that lower bracket, cover that match. Marshall Baines, Pran, Prime, and Albatross down there is going to be quite something. I feel like Pran, while that might have been a tough one to call a front runner for, now Pran I think could probably take that. But the other 3 spots, it could be any of those names. Really, really tough to call on that.
Yeah, Pran's definitely coming into this one now. You wouldn't have thought about it yesterday too much, but I feel like Pran's coming into definitely in that qualified 3 of today is definitely the solid front runner. But like you said, the other 3 you can't really pick, and you can't really pick one because they're all decent on different maps.
Yeah,
I feel like all the styles are definitely the way to go, and it's just got to come down to map variety of if they get lucky or not.
Well, we are going to be heading into open world as our first of the randomized maps here in our upper bracket as we head in for the upper bracket final. This will be as well, so it will be catch up from here on out. Let's take a look at the run through for open world as I get that on screen now, and you will see these early transitions. You keep saying that, you know, the early part of this track can really define this.
Yeah, the early parts of the track are the ones that define the pace that you can get. And it's just all the transition. It is a tough track. The corners really catch you off guard, and it really tightens up on some sections. Because it's a bit of a chicane, but you can drive straight through it. If you get caught out a little bit, it's going to be a chicane for you, and that's a lot of time wasted right there. But that ends an off block as well is another big time where you can lose. We've watched people just have a little bit of a slide before it, and they've lost 20 kph at least, and that's cost them 0.2 to 0.5.
Yeah, it's a massive drop-off. I don't feel like this is a track where you're going to get those major mistakes come up as frequently, where you're not going to see somebody completely bend into a wall, except maybe that one chicane. But you definitely have multiple sections where you can drop major time regardless of that, and that makes this a lethal track. Yesterday, I think we talked about as well the fact that a lot of these tracks, the early finish line on these can be really, really tough. I think there's only 1 or 2 in this pack of 5 that I would say were easy to get consistently into that, and we did see even from the front runners a few failures on the likes of our second map there in particular.
Yeah, there's a lot of those early finishes have been catching a lot of our players off guard, really.
Daybreak,
like, even on this map as well, there's been a couple of times when they've tried to dive it too far on the inside and they've ended up hitting the top of the finish line, and they've had to respawn, and that's another like 5 seconds right there that they've lost, and that cost them the entire round. And like we were saying, each round matters here. If you get a first place in 3 rounds in a row, you've got 30 points in pretty much to your field.
Yeah.
Like, you really need each round.
Well, you will see these guys starting up now as we head in. The warm-up period will begin for our first warm-up lap of this track, and we will get our day underway here, Lumids. Very, very keen to see this. I think you were saying before we started as well, you're expecting that this, really the opening sector of this is going to be definitive for today.
Yeah, I feel like map 1 of the day is definitely going to be the definitive matter. If you can get a good first couple rounds in here on map 1, that can really set your tone for the next couple of the rounds. It's really tough. Like, we've seen it happen when 42, I think it was Pran as well, had a map where they just could not get a third position, anything higher than a third position, and they lost at least about 30 to 45 points on the 2 leaders, and that cost them the entire round there.
Also, really, really important to know exactly where you can safe it in these tracks. I think DB suffered from that a little bit even on his own tracks yesterday, particularly on those early finish, those red gates to close out. He wouldn't opt for the riskier option, even when he had the pace to win it outright if he did, and ended up just giving up a lot of first places. He did still secure a fair few seconds, and I think DB is looking like an excellent racer. It's maybe just a confidence issue there, but it certainly is crucial in these to know exactly which corners you can afford to safe on and which you can't.
100%, and I feel like that's what really matters. Sometimes we witnessed it yesterday when the 2 front runners were pushing each other for fast times, and that was making them have mistakes. But yeah, 42 and Iridium are being the fastest 2 on the track at the moment. Can they produce it here?
Scorpid needed a good start on this and has made an early error. Iridium, speaking of errors, straight off the map. That is one of the biggest errors I think I have seen. 42's off as well, and Spark and Scorpid out ahead. And Spark's made the error as well. This might be exactly what Scorpid needed. He just happened to be the first to make the error, so he's picked it back up.
We're talking about consistency. Iridium and Spark only had one bad, I think, round yesterday, and they've come off the bat with both of them making big mistakes. All 4 of them having a crash first round here, Gex. That's not what you want to see.
To speak for yourself, I'm happy to see Scorpid get some early points here because, frankly, my prediction for Scorpid was not great on this. He's a fantastic racer, don't get me wrong, and I was even talking him up coming into this competition. However, he is up against our predicted top 3 here in Spark, Iridium, 42, and only 2 of these players get to go through to the grand final.
Yeah, which is rough. But as we were saying about Scorpid, he is the 8th fastest on this map. So he's a bit slower than the others in the pace-wise, going off record times. But consistency might show. And I think Spark's made another mistake, and he's been behind Scorpid now. It's all on 42 and Iridium at the front here. This engine off is a massive moment where you can gain and lose a lot of time. Scorpid seems to be catching a little bit, but look at this. Spark on that inside line.
You've got to be kidding. Spark has an enormous amount of pace catching up here. Iridium sent to the back now. 42 leading the pack around this final corner into the finish and gets it low. Spark can take out a second coming from the back of the pack to do it.
Yeah, and Scorpid made a bit of a mistake in the last corner. Couldn't get the drift going on. Iridium snipes 3rd place. That's going to cost him a little bit on the points. But what you really need is that 1st place. That 10 points and the 4-point difference can really cost you. 13, 13, 12.
Except 42 and Scorpid have just swapped here. The Scorpid went first to last, and then I think 42 did the opposite there. So exactly the same points. Spark only 1 point behind. Iridium trailing the pack right now, but it is early days.
Yeah, it is very early doors here, and as you see, Iridium is now leading the pack on this round, and it's going to be Spark and 42 on the chase. Spark always goes for this inside line, so he can get a bit of outside here. Does have a little bit more pace, maybe, but Iridium seems to be holding pretty solid. Goes a bit wide there. It's going to cost him a bit. 42 more at the line. Does he have the pace?
Iridium. He's high. Very, very close. 400ths of a second to Spark. Iridium nearly risked it with such a high line into the finish line there as well. We were talking this almost on this track 3 finishes. Open world, just because of that final gate, if you want to risk it and you go super low, you gain an enormous amount of time into that final gate.
Yeah, there's at least a 10th there you can gain just from going low onto the finish and jump. But this first part, as you think, I think a bit Spark had a bit of an issue there. Maybe no, it was Iridium again. That's now behind. Not the biggest of mistakes, but still a bit of time to catch up.
What a close pack, though.
Yeah, it's just probably the toughest round you could probably get. Potential grand final right here, chat. I'm not gonna lie.
I think you got to give a little bit of credit to Iridium here as well. He's had a lot on his mind. He's been in here with us helping set up for the broadcast, set up the tournament. Iridium in the background has had a lot on his plate, so probably came in here not quite as warmed up as the rest of the pack as well, and has made back some points, but not this round. He's going to drop back to last again here as Spark takes another 1st place.
Yeah, Iridium's still not sitting too far away from the pack. It's very close. The Spark is starting to get a bit of a gap now, which is not what you want Spark to get because he's been solid throughout yesterday. And you notice when him and Iridium got that gap in the seeding bracket, they were not letting anyone get anywhere near. If Spark makes a gap here, they could follow Sword again today.
Well, I mean, the best thing we can hope for as casters is that 4-way finalist spot as well. And, the more we see this close up, the more likely that is. I think at this point, it would be hard not to see everybody get their chance to move through directly into the grand final. Of course, we are still in the uppers, so anybody going out here will still have the lowers as their second chance through as well. It is double elimination the entire tournament.
Yeah, it is double elimination, so they've got one more chance if they do get knocked out here, and this, I reckon, could be their toughest round for these players. But we are on Mudvayne now, Gex. This is a very lovely map.
Interestingly, I think I've seen frequently in Trackmania, you don't really have the time to do like a full bracket reset format or anything. So you actually do sacrifice your second chance if you go directly to grand final. As weird as that sounds, I of course still advocate for going directly to grand final if you can. However, I think more than most esports, I see the lower bracket run pulled off in this esport because you come through with warmth. You come through straight out of competition, and it really is plausible to make your way through from the bottom and still win the entire tournament.
Yeah, that's just it. As we see, there's a bit of a mistake now from Spark trying to adapt to the new map that we've got now, which is Mudvayne. This one is all about these outside dirt corners at the start, which can really throw you if you just nick the wall the tiniest bit. You lose at least 80 kilometers.
Wow, 42 has some pace here. I think that jump back there to the high wall hairpin there, if you can low transition onto that with a good angle to hold momentum through there, I feel like that was a line that was missed by a lot of racers, even the top few yesterday. And I want to see if more people have realized that that's an option to them coming through today.
And as you see, 42 does take the first round here, 53.1, which I think is a pretty solid time on Mudvayne. It really is. That's top 7 in the world right there. That's still solid times for the round, especially first round in. But 42 needs that, and that's Spark having an awful round there, coming into 4th place, which drops 42 into the lead now. So it's neck and neck again.
I think very, very impressive as well is that the times have not really changed for the world records overnight very much for Mudvayne. Some of the maps they've changed fairly dramatically, or at least the leaderboard has, whereas really Mudvayne has been very hard to get those improvements on. So if you can get into a top 7 in competition here, that's a very, very fast time.
And we've seen how close this map really is between all the races that we have here today in Order Tournament. As you see, we are now freeway battle for the lead. All kind of come down to the last sector here. Up this dirt, outside corner. Iridium takes a little bit of a different line. Could maybe get more speed, but gets a bit more bump off in the air. Now it's going to be on Spark. Spark and 42 side by side. Spark has inside.
Oh my goodness.
He makes a mistake and Iridium snipes to second place.
Crazy there. 3 cars wide for half the track on that one. Really just on top of each other. Times indistinguishable until that mistake at the end there. Yeah, I can't believe Iridium able to get his way through into second there. And again, closing things up. This is where things start to kind of define themselves more. I think Scorpid will struggle to get back into the pack for points now.
Oh, I think is that Iridium? Yeah, Iridium with a big mistake at the start, which is going to cost them huge here. Spark is looking to push this lead wide as a chance, but 42 is not letting Spark get away from him at all at the moment. You see different lines again taken. 42 goes a bit wide and carries a bit more pace, and it really catches up the Spark through that section there, Gates.
Scorpid setting pretty good pace through here as well. This last sector actually making some gains on Spark and 42. However, really it is those two at the front there that are competing out to finish here. But 42 makes an error. I don't know if he's got the pace to hold off Scorpid. He doesn't. In fact, it will come down to the final line there, and they make it through the gate. 42 slips from second back to 4th. It'll be Spark and Scorpid in 1st and 2nd.
That was just 42 pushing it a little bit too hard on that outside dirt berm just to gain as much speed as they can. Goes a bit wide, touches the wheel the littlest bit, and like I said, that's a lot of speed lost there. And as you see, Iridium and everyone at Scorpid as well come past and just catch up. Spark, though, is looking solid as Iridium makes a little mistake and another mistake.
Iridium is not having a great day today. It has been a very cold start for him, and that is polar opposite of yesterday. Iridium came in and set the pace on the first 3 tracks in our qualifiers yesterday. Now slipping back and almost seeing the polar opposite today.
As we see, Scorpid has really been impressing me. Like, not far off the points off the top 2 right now as well, the top 3. And still sit in second place again. Just driving consistently, let the mistakes happen in front. And it seems to be working here for Scorpid. But as we see, Spark is absolutely flying at the front of the pack. is going to look beautiful to take another victory here on Mudvayne, and that's the new best time on a session.
Wow, crazy low time. Yeah, really, really fast. And Scorpid coming in second here again really is actually going to put him back in contest against 42 here. That gap is closed up now, and will only be, what, 2 points behind here, I think?
Yeah, very close. It's 2 points between both of them. So it's 2 points between fourth place, third place, and second place. So it's got about as tight as you can get. I'm sensing a triple finalist, maybe.
Yeah, this is closer than I thought still. But Iridium slipping to the back, that's the surprise for me on this one.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that from Iridium being one of the most consistent, gaining that 200-point lead with Spark in the seeding round, now to being in the back of the pack. Not in the usual spot. Is that just going to be extra pressure on Iridium's shoulder that could cost more mistakes coming out? Or is Iridium going to focus up and grind back to the consistency of yesterday? It's
not just shocking. And you're absolutely right. Iridium, I think, was the name if you wanted to talk about consistency yesterday. Nobody was as consistent as Iridium. However, Spark had higher pace, but Spark didn't have the consistency. Managed to get it out in the end there of qualifiers, but again, it has been neck and neck between Spark and Iridium, and it did seem to be that outright pace versus consistency for the times that were being set there. It seems to have been flipped on its head here, and Iridium's suffering for it.
Yeah, but as we're speaking about Iridium, we're going into a map that I think Iridium prefers here, being the world record holder on this Sky Harbor, which is a beautiful map, but a treacherous one as well. Some of these, even this beginning starter, if you just turn a bit early, you're going to clip that inside wall. And as Iridium does it, I caught it and has to do a full respawn all the way back to the start. That is major time loss.
That is brutal. It is worth saying Iridium only set that world record half an hour ago. So that's very recent too.
He's been jamming this map.
Yeah. So we should be seeing Iridium stand up here. 42 with a big error.
Big mistake, yeah.
And it's just Scorpid and Spark.
Showing some pace again at the front.
What is up with Scorpid today? Really loving it.
Lying.
Yeah.
Scorpid been on low on the records as well, around 7th average on the records for each map, which is the lowest in the lobby, but it's showing pace here, guys.
Yeah, great line through the ice as well. Yeah, Spark may have taken it slightly better, but I doubt that everybody's going to keep that pace up around that corner. I think Scorpid has certified his position here, takes the nice early exit there as well, and it's Iridium and 42 to finish off this. Iridium, though, those errors early, especially from the world record holder, a shock.
And for Spark to do a 6th fastest world record time first round on this map is looking dangerous here. Has potential to reach. We got a world 140 today, are we? If I'm not mistaken.
140 for grand final. It'll be 100 until then, though.
Just confirmed. Okay. So yeah, still potential for Spark to reach finalists on this map, and I think it might happen here if he keeps this up.
Yeah, crazy consistency from Spark. He's really fixed the errors of yesterday. And again, it's just proving that practice makes perfect. Once again here, Spark has put the time in overnight, just like everybody else. And suddenly, not only are they good times, he's able to pull them out back to back. And again, a pace-setting lap from Spark here. Iridium this time in second, though. More expected, but some big errors there.
Both of them.
Scorpid with a chance, but it is a bit of a gap to make up. Does have some pace, but might lose it into these final corners.
Yeah, and Spark takes another free victory. There's another 10 points, just stepping closer and closer to finalist. As 42 seems to be having issues with this map. Can't quite get a clean run down. But we did see Scorpid and Iridium both made a mistake on that run as well. But again, Spark just playing it safe, getting the runs down that needs to be. But they are quick times. Again, another PV. That's another fast time.
And Scorpid, he evened last time and is now ahead by 1 point into second place. Where is Scorpid coming from today? This has got to keep up, though.
Scorpid being, in my opinion, probably the lowest seed coming into this round as well. Now
love the underdog.
Second place.
Love it.
Love to see it. Don't count out the underdogs, they say. And as we see, he is a bit far behind at the moment. Must have been a little mistake on the drifts. But this is better from 42. 42 needs a good run here. And he's finally bringing the pace back up. Iridium's quick as well.
Scorpid, oh my goodness, nearly takes 42 there as well. And Iridium cutting a fine line there, going well outside, loses some pace because of it. Had to slam on the brakes there or he would have hit the wall. Scorpion's going to take a wide line on the ice, but might hold third here. Spark and 42 fighting for first place. Is there an error on the final corner? No, there is not. 42 is going to take it. Spark in second with only a .019 between them.
Yeah, that's about as close as you can get it. But we did, as we say that, we did see 2 times get tied yesterday. But
back to back.
Spark almost sniped that one off 42 there, but 42 needed a little bit of confidence, hopefully now, as he hasn't had the best run. He's got 4-4 for now. He's got a good run, which got him that first place.
Actually, you want to talk about the difference from today and from yesterday to today? We're looking at the 2 players who did that back to back. It was Spark and Iridium who had those 2 times that were identical. I've never seen that from the same 2 players in 2 consecutive rounds, and yet they couldn't be more polar opposite right now.
As we see, Scorpid has a lot of pace on this map, surprisingly. As he's going to try maybe take an outside line, gains a bit of time, but Spark and Iridium side by side. Iridium a bit on the inside, but they switched it to the outside layers 9. And they are about as close as you can get going through this dirt section. Scorpid's behind.
Is there
Iridium
an error?
has the pace.
Oh my goodness. And actually lost a bit of time to 42 there, who had pace on the back end as well. But Iridium finally getting out in front, and he's going to need as many of those as he can get.
Yeah, a couple great rounds now. 2 close ones back to back. But now we switch maps again, and that's throws another spinner in the work. You just got consistent at that map, and now you got to learn this one again. And it's Chon, the legendary.
Condrel has been tougher than I thought it would be for the players here, and I think it just comes down to margins for error. There is not enough time to spare to play it safe on these corners. And while Condrel may be an easy map to finish, it is not an easy map to finish unscathed if you aren't cutting those corners perfectly. Yeah.
Especially on one of these uphill sections as well, when you're coming out of that engine off block zone. That is just a dangerous zone itself. And then you also got those downhill dirt corners, which can also just throw you into the wall. This is a very, very tech map. And I feel like Iridium should really shine here, hopefully.
Iridium has to. I'm keen to see Scorpid keep up the pace that he's been setting for himself here as well, though, because he has put himself in contest for the top 2 here still. Only 1 point away from Iridium there. Scorpid has slipped to the back of the pack here, but realistically, this is incredibly close between everybody here, except maybe Spark, who's gotten a decent lead ahead.
Yeah, Spark seems to be running away with it a little bit here, but still, he needs to get on the finalists and still win a map. That's the tough thing. It still needs to win a round. But as we see, Iridium is, I think, the fastest player in this lobby on this map. But Scorpid is very quick on this map
and
as well.
I think this is his quickest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Scorpid's best map.
Looking across, I think... who was it that had... it's Scorpid who has actually put Condrel... He's the only player that put Condrel as favourite map as well. So, really should be seeing Scorpid with his chance to get into that top 2 a few more times this time around.
You can really hope so, but it's got to go neck to neck to the line here. As Iridium takes the first round, which is beautiful. What they need here to push forward. Did not get the first
Spark on finalist.
Spark is on... Oh, is Spark on finalist or was it 99?
Oh, 99?
Sorry, you're right. 99. It doesn't get it yet.
Cool, so that means that they can afford to have him win this round outright. And not take the position from them, which can be a lifesaver, especially with the gap between Iridium and Spark right now. I think that potentially can be closed as long as we see a few mistakes out from Spark and everybody kind of pushing their bests. Iridium doesn't even need to be the first place
Spark
each time. It just has to not be Spark from here on out.
Yeah, Spark's had a major mistake as well in the background. But again, 42's looking very solid here as well. But coming into this map, 42 does have the slowest PB out of the 4. And is still showing some pace. But as I say that, the caster curse kicks in, and 42 clips the wall, and it goes all the way back to 4th because he had to respawn.
Iridium expected high speeds on this one. The best of the PBs on track, and makes sense of it here as well. Scorpid coming in right behind him, and we are, I think, going in order of the PBs right now.
Yeah, it currently is going in orders of the PBs. As 42 can't seem to finish the map at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it there. Oh, just in time to get some points. Very close.
Spark's on finalist now. It's all up to the other 3 to shut down Spark, to hold him in this lobby just for a little bit longer. Iridium needs Scorpion and 42 to help a little bit here.
Yeah.
Just to shut down Spark so Iridium can get that higher seed.
And Iridium finishing first in that last one was great for the points, but actually not... it had no impact on Spark. He was going to finalize no matter what, as long as he reached points there. And 42 nearly didn't. So 42 is going to have to pick up the pace on this one and bring some consistency. Right now, Spark, though, looking to lock out that first finalist position. Iridium hot on the heels, and maybe a better line here. Does he have to cut it in too hard on the grass, though? No, looks like this is neck and neck, and maybe an error there as well. Iridium takes it to him first. No! He makes a massive error, but so does Spark.
Spark's made a massive error and has
42.
thrown the W away.
It's 42. That's incredible.
42 out of nowhere. That would have been it for Spark. That's all Spark needed. He had the pace. That could have been the grand final right there and then. Right there and then.
Spark and Iridium were just sending it to the moon there. They both knew that they had to be their absolute fastest there, and they just cut it too fine. It ended up just not being a doable angle for the quick finish there, and both of them wiped out on it. This is Iridium with a good chance out in front as Spark slips seconds behind.
Spark had a major mistake coming out of the first sector. He couldn't get it quite going. Great chance for Iridium to bring himself 5 points away from finalists. But 42 and Scorpion need to catch up to Iridium and not let him slip away as well. Because you don't want to go down into the lower bracket to fight back into it another round. You want to go straight to the grand final right now. But Iridium's looking too solid at the moment. Had to slow down a little bit. I don't think he's going to make the jump here.
Oh, he's got it. He's got it. And cleanly, that is everybody ahead of Spark here, which does lead some credence here to the possibility still of our full-man finalist position here. It's possible. It's possible.
And it switches map as well, so here we go again.
Oh, that's a wrench in the works.
Daybreak. My favorite map of the map pack. I love this map. Beautiful scenery. Very flowy, and Iridium's going to be the fastest one coming into this, and 42's quick here. Yeah. 0.005 off the record.
And again, Iridium only set the world record half an hour ago on this, so that is pretty crazy here to have that recency, and it means that he should be very, very quick on this.
Yeah, coming in hot, practicing the maps, which you really want to see from the players. This is a big round, this one right here. Does Spark win this first round and move on into the grand final, or does Iridium on 42 or Scorpion shut him down? Tough map. You can crash in pretty much every single part of the map on every single corner. You can lose a lot of pace.
Iridium can, in either a first or second here, go to finalist position as well. And if that happens, and that just means that either 42 or Scorpion would have to get first necessarily to count out Spark from locking in that position. Iridium doesn't even need 2 wins here, may only need 1 to be our first finalist still, despite Spark being in finalist position for so long now.
Yeah, it's up for grabs. Spark's been there for probably about 3 to 4 rounds now, just can't quite get the run that he needs. But again, this map can throw a spanner in the works. Iridium being the fastest, 42 being the second fastest PB-wise. But again, you can't count out Spark. Says, hey, look, to be fighting Iridium and Spark side by side. You can't split them at the moment. 0.003 between them. As you see, 42 gets a beautiful line as well. This might be it for Spark. He's gained a bit of time here.
Spark is out ahead. The chase is on from Iridium as well. Goes wide here to hold as much pace as possible up the corner.
Whoa.
But a huge wipe out there. Scorpid as well. 42 is the only one that can deny Spark the opportunity to finish out his finalist spot here. And I don't think he's got the pace to do it. Spark has to make an error. He has. 42, does he make the finish? He does. Spark can't finish this off. 42's at 95 points.
Not like this.
We're going to have 3 finalists if Spark can't finish it this round.
What has happened? Spark had at least a 0.2 lead and throws it into the corner and can't quite get it around.
98, 95, and 80 on the board here.
This is the upper bracket final that you'll want to see. And here we go. It all comes down to here. Can we see triple finalists?
42. Fast. Early sector there. Taken back by Iridium almost immediately.
42 needs this.
He
Sparks
does.
had a mistake, has he? He's lost a bit of time.
Well, again, now 42 is in the same position as Iridium. He only needs a second place here, provided that Spark doesn't finish first.
Yeah, but look at these lines from Spark. He's gained a lot of time on this back section.
3 cars
He's going to go
wide.
to the inside. He's got the pace. Iridium's got a little bit more time. The different line choices have come out. Spark has the pace. He can do this here.
42 is
pace.
fast.
42.
Spark!
He doesn't make
Iridium!
it.
Oh my goodness! Spark is choking, and both Iridium and 42 head into finalist position. Scorpid now in place to fairly easily make a finalist position for at least the second qualifying spot out of this round.
Well, triple finalist. Spark has let this one slip.
This
Spark
is
has
crazy.
let this one slip. This is insane.
Scorpid
It's
needs a
anyone's
win.
now. Scorpid needs to get up here. Who's going to take out? Who's going to be the first one to move on to the grand final? Is it going to be Spark, Iridium, or 42?
This map may be the killer for Scorpid, though.
Oh, yeah.
Least consistency of all the maps we've seen him on so far. Clearly just doesn't have the time put into this one and has already dropped back. That may count Scorpid out entirely from the running here. Iridium, the front runner right now. Spark actually slipping back to third here. And 42 setting big pace again. Spark cuts it too close. And I think that might count Spark out for the first finalist spot. How many rounds have we been through without Spark able to lock that out? This is brutal.
Oh, Iridium's going to hold the line. Does he get the job?
He
Iridium
does.
is the first one into the grand final.
You are kidding.
From being last through halfway through the second map, has brought it back to be the first finalist to move on into the grand finals. GG's to Iridium in the chat. GG's. But now it's on 42.
He only got out of last place the same round, I believe, that Spark became a finalist. So
Yep.
he was able to hold out Spark the entire way to now through 2 maps and all the way to the point he has finalized first now. 42 trying to take it from Spark. Spark, after all this time, could end up in the lower bracket. You've got to be kidding.
It's going to be an upset if it does happen. Coming in as the favourite. 42 looks like he has pace here. Has got a great line. This could be it here for 42. Just has to play consistent. Has a bit of time. It's almost 0.3. Spark really
Spark.
needs to send it here. He's going to go for the inside
Oh,
line.
I think he's made an
Can't
error.
quite get it. 42, does he hold the line here?
He does.
He's looking forward. 42 has done it. Has shut
Oh
down
my
Spark.
goodness.
42 moves on.
And that is brutal. After such a good run from Scorpid, I thought we would be talking about him, but frankly, all I can think about is the fact that Spark didn't make it.
That's so unfortunate. But sometimes the cookie does crumble. The golden boy has fallen, but he still has another chance. He has just got to hold on and believe in himself in his lower bracket. He still has one more chance. He's not completely out. But 42 in Iridium. Congratulations on moving on to the grand final. 42 improved so much. So much.
Iridium, after even a bad start, proves he's still the name to beat here. And Spark has to do it now the long way around. So we're going to be dropping down to the lower brackets with both Spark and Scorpid, but Iridium and 42, they are going to have a little bit of a wait in store for them while we catch up from the lower bracket and see who is going to be dropped out of the competition entirely down there. But what a first round for today.
Yeah, it was a great first round. Couldn't have asked for one better. Spark he had the best start you could possibly ask for in a tight bracket like that. But Iridium coming from the underdog really in that round wasn't really performing at the beginning, but the consistency started to show at the end and pulled off. But that's just so unlucky for Spark, but I believe he can make through this lower bracket as well.
Well, we'll see pretty quickly. Only 2 rounds await us of the lowers down there, so we're going to head down. We'll see you on the other side of this very quick break. Catch you then. Hello and welcome back to our second round of our second day of action here at ITC number 7, and Indian Trackmania is just continuing to entertain Lumids.
Yeah, it's been, like the match we just watched, it's been absolutely pure entertainment here. Poetry in motion, if you don't say so myself. Poor Sparks just couldn't get over the finish line twice. That short finish really caught him out there. But we gotta give the flowers to also the Curiosity and Yuti getting knocked out in the other round 2 of the upper bracket finals. And that means DB and Nami will be moving on into the lower bracket semi-final.
And our third round there as well was Pran and Marshall Baines going through with Albatross and Prime heading home there. So particularly Albatross had some really shocking runs through there as well. So it's sad to see him off, but we had to narrow this down at some point, and now we are really getting to the pointy end of things. In fact, we are streaming every single match from here on out as we move into the lower bracket semi-final here. And I'll tell you what, some people had a little bit of a nightmare, the fact that they got here. We already mentioned it, but Spark, come on, man, that's 2 maps in a row. 2 full maps in a row. He couldn't get a win out where he finalized first. He came in third there and ends up in our lowers with us here, which feels very unfair to the others.
Yeah, it's very unfair to the others, but it does happen, sadly. And I'm pretty sure we are currently up to our final 8. This is the top 8 now. This lower bracket semi-final, they are fighting for the top 6 position here. Well, okay, who's going to take it out? It's going to be tough. There's a couple big names in this one. Yeah,
absolutely. Sure, at least for now, though, we don't have to see them go up against Spark. I got to say, Condrel and Daybreak, it was inevitable that those were not going to be great maps, but one win could have done it. Anyway, Marshall Bane, Hot Pran, and DB, as well as... who is our last one there? Nami, coming in as our 4th here for our lower bracket semi-final. Marshall Baines promised me if he was getting into the top 8 that he was going to give me his rupees for the win. So he told me that, I could cast a curse everybody else, but I know the power of that cast a curse, and I don't take handouts. I think Marshall Baines is taking this.
I don't know about that one there, Gex, mate.
Yes, no, he's winning it all.
Really
I have to curse him. I have to curse him. I don't take handouts. Don't you dare, Marshall.
The caster curse is coming out strong, but I really hope Marshall Baines has a great run here.
He's done this to himself.
This is his worst map out of the map pack, if I'm looking correctly here, which does suck. But Nami and Pran are the ones to beat on Condrel here, which is surprising to me.
Well, I would love to know that we were in Condrel, but I've been booted out of the server, so I'm going to try and get back into that so that everybody can see this match. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I just noticed that as well. But yeah, we're getting back into it.
Back in. There we go.
And it's all sorted. Back on Condrel, which is great to start. We're just going to wait for everyone else to get back in, and then we'll be on the way, chat.
Yeah, it looks like a full server reset there as well, so we'll be having our warm-up. And in saying that, I would bother going through the map layout with our map preview, but Condrel was our first map yesterday, and I think we've already been over that.
Yeah, we had Condrel first map, I think about twice, or was that Daybreak we had first map?
I think both we've had twice now, yeah.
Yeah, so I think, it's going to be tough here. I still don't know who's going to really be the top 2 in this group. I feel like it's going to be too close. Pran has really been grinding these maps, like we were saying, after yesterday's tournament. And he's really improved into, especially getting top 2 and top 3 on some maps lately.
Yeah. Marshall Baines definitely has the speeds in there, but Pran is just on a run, man. It is insane to see the speeds he's put in there. He is actually just a front runner now. We thought there was a defined top 3, but there may be a defined top 4 with Pran picking up so many speeds and PBs overnight. Really moving his way up the ranks. Yeah, he's definitely moving his way up the rank, but his first map, as it has been a little bit of a more tech heavy
it does favour Nami and Prem here, as that's their best style. They really strive here on these maps, and they're showing it on the record boards as well, coming in as number 1 and number 2 here.
The other thing that will be hoped for here by one of the players is DB made 2 of these maps, so he's going to be hoping out for those. We are still in randomized maps here as well. As we move forward into the day, our grand final will be a full set of chosen maps there. We will have our pick band phase, so let's get into the game on this one and see our first run through as everybody goes into their warm-up phase now.
Yeah, just testing the waters on the map, seeing how they're going to run it. And just see, Nami has a bit of a stake, just seeing how far he can really push his tire over that edge to gap it, just to get the correct lines. But again, Gex, I really am hoping that Marshall Baines upsets the lobby. I feel like he's the one that I think is the 4th seed in this bracket here.
Yes.
Especially in this round. But I really am cheering for the underdog. I love me an underdog.
But Marshall Baines actually did come up on top from Nami, if I am not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, despite the seeding difference, very possible here for Marshall Baines. I feel like Pran is a bit of a leader here on the pace and will be setting that for basically every track here. He's been consistent in his PBs. He just needs to be consistent in reaching somewhere near those, and he shouldn't have any problem taking this out. So any of the other 3 here have the shot to take it out otherwise. Oh, Nami with a fast start.
Nami's got a great start here. I think Nami is the current rail record holder on this map, so hopefully can strive here and gain those extra 10 points out here early. But DB is the one that did beat Nami in the following bracket, I'm pretty sure. So we did get it a bit wrong there, that Marshall Baines got beat by Pran and DB got Nami.
Yep.
So Nami's going to try upset that one and flip the script real quick, but and has a great run. Has made
Nami!
a mistake. I'm not going to speak on the caster curse. We move on. DB now just needs to get it through the finish line. It's going to be a great start for DB.
Well, look, I actually saw Nami at the front here and thought, man, he is going to be so grateful that this is first map up, because he should be able to get out ahead with good points if he's the world record holder. I don't think Nami has anywhere near this position on any other map.
Yeah, I don't think Nami... Actually, Nami, I think, is currently 3rd place all up on the ratings in world records and average placements on the times. So not bad, but as you see here, 2 mistakes from 2 different people there, which has cost him a bit of time.
Oh, Nami is gone again.
Big mistake. Pran has a bit of time now to have... He has a lot of space up front, actually.
Yeah,
over
really
1.5 seconds.
And that's off of Marshall Baines and DB not making errors here. This is just their runs. Pran is way ahead here, looking to set pace for this race entirely.
Yeah, Pran was grinding yesterday, did improve on a lot of their personal bests on each track, not just one. Grinded a lot, and is looking very solid here. Let's go. There's a little bit of a let go there just to make sure it gets the corner consistently and takes that one with a new PB of the round. Oh,
the back end of that did close up. Even Nami gaining on Marshall Baines and DB at the end there, but that last 3, very, very close competition. However, Marshall Baines is going to make some more points back into this competition, and Nami has slipped to the back of the pack.
Yeah, Nami not quite having the start they needed. As you see, Marshall Baines clipped that inside wall, which has been a big dangerous factor on this track. And has to slow down again. And Nami with another mistake. No. The world record holder can't quite get it going.
That is brutal. DB out in front right now, but we know how fast Pran is here, already making moves up the field and straight into first place. Will he be able to secure a dramatic gap again here?
Yeah, Pran seems to be building. It's now down to 0.2, and DB clips the outside wall. That's really going to give Pran possibly another free win here, which is what you want from Pran. I thought he was going to come in being firing on all cylinders, and it seems to be that way.
Yeah.
Clears it up. Pran and DB first and second.
Just so much practice, and so recent on that practice as well from Pran. So really coming through to make good time here as expected.
Yeah, Pran's zooming at the moment. Really is showing some consistent pace. Can Pran keep it up though and get a couple more wins just to widen up the gap. DBC's holding very close to Pran, being consistent there as well.
And Pran may be second on this leaderboard. However, Nami set their world record run last night, whereas Pran set theirs only 5 hours ago. So maybe a little bit more recency on the practice for this track too.
Yeah, and as you see, Pran's got the lead here, but Nami has a clean run so far, which we haven't really seen yet in this round. And it's all going to come down. This dirt section really does matter as Marshall Beans makes a mistake. There's big mistakes from the back three, and that's going to leave Pran open again. No mistake. Pran seems to be working, just not clipping any walls.
And Marshall Baines comfortably in second right now, but Nami could change that right here, right now, if Marshall Baines doesn't get the right line, and he does not. DB actually going to take their third, and Marshall Baines slips to the back of the pack with a crash out into the finish line.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate there for Marshall Baines. Who had a pretty easy second place there, but then the pressure got too much and just couldn't get over the finish line. But we are going to move on to map 2 of this round here, this lower bracket semi-final, and it is the one and only Daybreak. A beautiful map, my favorite on the calendar, my favorite on the map pack, and still, I'm pretty sure this is DB's favorite map, and I'm pretty sure DB might have created this one.
Daybreak.
No, it was Lost Soul.
Yeah, DB was the creator for Mudvayne and Sky Harbor. So Lost Soul, the Daybreak creator here. Do we have a favorite on Daybreak from anybody in this map? Yes, and it's Pran, unfortunately for everybody else here. Yeah,
Pran's... but also, DB and Pran both set their fastest times on this track at the same time, 4 hours ago each. So they both have been grinding out this map, trying to learn the pack a bit more, just to improve on their time. So I reckon it could go anyone's way here.
Actually, DB has set theirs as Daybreak here as well. So despite not being the creator, has stated this is their favorite track of the map pack.
That's pretty rare, you see. Like we've seen
Scorp
love Condor. Scorpion's liked his own map, which is the usuals. But we've seen day in, day out on this map that this last finish line, that short finish line here, is probably the most dangerous one in the map pack that has caught so many people out.
Ooh, this is going to be an interesting one. Like you said, it's just so dangerous, particularly the finish line on this one. Now that we're in the lower bracket, in this semi-final, we may see some more issues created by that early finish line attempt.
Yeah, but you still can't doubt out these players, though. They are top 8 for a reason here.
Pace on Marshall Baines.
Marshall Baines is looking quick, but Nami now is possibly going to get a faster line and does. Marshall Baines had to do a bit more of a drift there. That slowed him down. Clips the inside as well, but recovers pretty nicely. Pran's had a ball.
From memory yesterday, I think Marshall Baines did have some really good runs on this track, but it is going to come down to consistency here, and I don't think Marshall Baines had a ton of that. However, his contest there was much tougher than this one around. DB with an error there. Pran slips into first place, just barely makes it into the finish line. That was close. Nami in second.
Yeah, Nami had a little bit of a mistake on that last drift. Couldn't quite get it going on an uphill. And then, Pran just comes and snipes it away and increases the lead by almost 20 now. Pran taking the lead here and just holding reins of this group. Can he continue on? Or is DB going to be the one to shut him down?
Pran now again in the fight at the front of this pack. Great line through there. DB on top. There is a big contest for this first position, but Pran, consistency is there. This is what I was scared for everybody for. Pran has proven he has pace, but now he's also proving that the consistency is there as well. Pran is running away with this.
Yeah, I've also heard news that Nami might be having some controller issues as well, which is not what you like to hear. But doesn't look like they're having a bad run now. Pran doesn't get the great run out. DB on the inside.
Oh,
Pran
my goodness.
just makes it. skims his wheel on the top of the barrier just to make it across.
Less than 0.1 between the top three, but second and third there. I think there was only 13 millisecond in that, so it was very, very close there. And DB and Nami fighting that out. Unfortunately here, Marshall Baines is suffering some fairly good paces through different sectors, but he's just struggling to chain it together.
Yeah, just can't keep up in the top three right now. They have some incredible pace here. As Nami again just gets the greater start on the uphill grass section and gets a nice, lovely, nice. But here's Marshall Baines. This is the pace we need from him. Can they hold it on here and stay with Nami through this entire middle section? Does a little brake tap, which could cost. But Nami's been solid through this back bit. Where's Pran? Pran and DB.
Actually, fighting last place. Yeah. DB making the overtake there. Pran fast through this last sector in general, but makes an error trying to make up pace and knows he's lost this one out. Nami's going to have to go safe it. DB has absolutely shot the run as well. Marshall Baines comes through in first place, and that tightens up the ranks for second place out as a qualifier here.
Yeah, the two front runners both couldn't make the short finish.
That's 35 across the board underneath Pran.
35, 35, 35. That's a rare sight to see. Can we see another triple finalist potential here?
I don't doubt it at this point. I mean, we're still early days in this with the spread of points right now. It's maybe one of the most even rounds we've ever seen as far as point distribution per map. So, yeah, definitely a possibility at this point.
DB's going to rock a far outside right line, but does get a lot more pace. He's going to catch up to Pran here, but Pran just being consistent. Hasn't been winning much rounds here on this map, but it's just running in the top threes. But as close as it can get, it all comes down to this last corner and the last chop for that short finish. Pran has looked like they've nailed it, so has DB. That's a new PB and a new best time in this session.
Crazy. 48.292 from Pran is a good run here under threats, but you got to say the threat is starting to diminish when you're starting to look down the barrel of doubling the points of some of the players here.
Yes, Lily pull it away by 20 points here again. Pran making a statement for everyone else ahead of him, especially in the higher seeds. The ones already waiting in the grand final, Pran's really showing up here and showing some incredible pace, but consistent as well. DB has really impressed me. Marshall Baines as well. Nami just can't quite get the gap between them. And it's very close for this second spot here.
Mudvayne warm up now coming in, and that could change things again, because while last time we did see Nami as the world record holder there was almost nothing in it between Nami and Pran just had the consistency. This time around, there's actually only two players in the entire pack who have picked Mudvayne as their favorite, and Nami is one of them. So Nami may have an advantage on Mudvayne, we'll have to see.
Yeah, Nami, if I'm not checking it. Oh, Pran does have the fastest time out of the lobby. DB is looking quick in here as well, but Nami does prefer this map. It is favorited for a reason, but
there's less than 0.1 between them though on that record. Yeah. And again, if we're looking at recency, that PB was set only an hour ago by Nami and 3 hours ago by Pran. So both of them practicing this very, very recently. In fact, just before this tournament began.
Yeah, DB also 3 hours ago with their run as well, as we're going to hit into the first round here as well. And this wooden turn here can really give you some pace, throwing you up into the dirt berm. You don't want to go too far wide and force to clip that wall, but you want to stay outside so you get the speed. And you see Pran and DB pretty much spot between each other, spot on, same pace. This uphill corner can
low
really
transition
throw it.
from Pran. That's a huge pace coming out there from that early. Oh, and what a line through there as well. Pran is unbelievable right now, and yet somehow DB right on the trail as well. Pran is not out of danger yet.
Nami sneaking up on DB as well. Has got a bit more pace than DB. He's going to try to take this inside line. We've seen it work many times. Nami sends it too much. Pran takes the lead and DB gets second. Marshall Baines snipes the third off Nami.
Crazy.
What a round.
Unbelievable to see that as the first run of this map. Pran definitely is cooking these times now, and is now maybe one more win and he will be doubling somebody's score here. This is an enormous lead that he has on this leaderboard right now, and I've got to say it here. I mean, he is locking out the finalist position.
Yeah, Pran's looking like the one to beat 100% in this lobby and can really get finalist in this map as well. Doesn't really have to wait for the next one. Nami trying to shut down Pran. Has a lot of pace here, though. He's got a bit of a time ahead. It's not much, but Pran's trying to close the gap. He's going to try risk it a little bit on this grass, and there's a bit of time gain. It might be little, but it's enough to catch it. They're too close. It's neck and neck here, Gex. He's got to go down to this last corner.
Oh, Marshall Baines with an error there as well, meaning it is only Pran and Nami fighting it out. They are right on top of each other. Nami with a better low line there takes it, and the first win against Pran in a little while now, it feels, will hold him at bay a little. Marshall Baines at the back here, and it's starting to become crucial to get that second place spot from anybody but Pran here, as things start to get very, very crucial in the back end. If you're saying here that Pran has that first position locked out, then it is unbelievably necessary to look at everybody else in this pack for the second spot.
Every round matters here. Every single run on every map matters. Every point counts. Like, if you lose just 2 more points than someone else, that could cost you.
It's so tight.
Pran is just looking too good to beat right now. They are driving like consistently top 7 world record times back-to-back rounds here on this map. It's absolutely incredible pace being shown. As you see, Pran has gapped the field by 0.3 here, pulling away by 0.4 maybe.
An early mistake from Nami will keep him from another first place here, but DB has actually been able to hold fairly good pace here. I think Pran just too consistent right now. Actually, some time made up from Nami massively at the end there. Marshall Baines actually gets sniped at the last moment.
52.988. That is now, yes, the 7th fastest time in the world, consistent right there. Again, that is insane. They are consistently doing around that time. But still, Pran can get finalists this round right here. Does Pran do it? Or can one of the others shut him down? Marshall Baines can't quite get this track going. He's losing a bit of ground on the other two as well here, Gex.
Yeah, I think Marshall Baines is running a little low on steam here. Oh, an error early as well will send him further back in the pack. The top 3 actually well in contest here. Pran in a second place to Nami might be able to see Nami sneak this one through. We're seeing exactly why Nami has named this as their favorite map. Does have some level of consistency here. If there is no error, I almost expect Nami to take this one out, but Pran does have some unbelievable lines to defend that position.
Yeah, Pran is absolutely on a mission right now. Nami's taken a very risky line and it hasn't paid off. And Pran is going to be on finalist here.
Nami's onto something with a similar line. That was too wide. However, we actually saw Pran and Nami, when Nami took the first place position earlier, take a similar line, went a little wide so that they could take a low line onto that final ramp, and that sent them through the finish line with much higher pace, and just barely got them out the win. So there is something to that, but you can't take it to that extreme.
Yeah, and unlucky for Pran there. We're going to be moving on to Open World, which is DB's creation, if I'm not mistaken. So DB might have a bit of an advantage here against Nami and Marshall Baines for that second finalist position. But it is still very close. All Marshall Baines needs to do is get 1 win, and they're back right into top 2.
Nope, sorry. Still 2 more maps left that we haven't played, and those are the ones that DB made, so we'll see. We'll see.
I'm mistaken, my bad.
No, we actually did Mudvayne already, didn't we? DB did create Mudvayne there. Sky Harbor would be the other one we're looking for from DB there, but Open World, this one, I don't think there's any major preference from anybody on the track, so this should be an interesting one to see where the consistency comes through and if the time has been put in.
And as we've seen from the earlier rounds on this map, it can really throw some spinners into work. We've watched people lose a lot of points on the others just on this map. One mistake in these high-speed corners can really send you back over a second in just one corner. But as you see in these warm-up, the top three are side by side. Marshall, Baines, Nami, and Pram were side by side just in the warm-up. So it's looking like they've all got pacey, which is a great sign.
And DB not really giving a full run on the warm-up here. It's not really reflective of anything. So it absolutely could be neck and neck for this one. So let's get on to the track and see where it is. Possibility of closing out here for Pran, even in the first round, if he can make it work.
Hopefully Pran can get it going, but doesn't have the best start out of the group. It looks like Nami's going to be taking the early lead on this map. Has a lot of pace going in. Doesn't really get much airtime there. As you see, DB. Was that a mistake from Pran? No,
from Marshall.
Marshall.
Yeah. Actually did have pace to maybe go for that second there, but has lost it now. Pran still struggling to catch up to the front two, who have a decent lead there. A full second from DB back to Pran, until suddenly not. Pran with so much speed, he loses control and bins it into the wall.
But Pran doesn't really matter about the points at the moment, just needs to finish. And that's a great start for Nami here. They get that 10 points and the first win on open world here in this great semi-final.
Yeah, Pran probably not too stressed that he didn't take it in the first lap of open world, but yeah, Nami is starting to define themselves as well. I feel like Nami has had a step up each map that we have changed so far, and now Nami actually looking fairly consistent out in front right now.
If I wasn't mistaken, Nami is one of the most experienced Trackmania players in this tournament.
True.
Starting from, I think it was about 2011-ish, if I'm not mistaken. So a very long time, a couple years in the making. And Pran is currently on final S and has a bit of room to work with now at the front. Could this be the one for Pran to move on?
Does indeed. Nami wiped himself out completely. An enormous error early has put him 3 seconds behind the pack. And now Marshall Baines in second as well. Could make things interesting here. Marshall needs every win he can take. Can he get the 10? Pran. Oh, it's right behind Pran. Can't hold him back. Pran is going to finalize and head through to the lower finals with a chance at the grand finals. Marshall Baines making a few points back here, though, is so crucial and does tighten up the pack again.
Yeah, but GG's to Pran, looking very, very solid, but straight into the lower bracket final now. It's a perfect position you want to be. But now it's really up to these three now. It's too close. Anyone can really still get to final S first, as DB makes an early mistake, which is going to leave the door open now for Nami and Marshall Baines.
Nami holding pace here, and I feel like if there isn't a quick change here, if Marshall Baines can't find it somewhere in there to get this consistency out with pace, Nami will run away with this from here on out, because he was restricted from getting those 10 points while Pran was in here, but no longer is that the case. Nami has the chance to take out 10 after 10 after 10 if Marshall Baines or DB cannot put a test to him.
Yeah, Nami's looking like the favourite to keep going here. He's looking very solid. 44.5s are pretty good times on this map. Pretty 0.5 ahead of the AT, which the ATs on this map is pretty solid as well. But Marshall Baines just needs to keep running these second places and hopefully get a couple more wins. Nami's only 2 wins away from being finalists now as well.
DB really the only one within shot of that now. I think Marshall Baines may be slipping back just a little too far to be in this competition realistically. However, DB has not had a great run on this map, and Nami seems to be able to, at the very least, only be risking it to Marshall Baines right now, who isn't in this fight.
Yeah, Nami's absolutely flying. Definitely has the more pace on the map of this map compared to the other two, but really does need to stay consistent though. Any mistake can give this win to Marshall Baines. But I think Marshall Baines just has tapped the ward down. That's bring DB back to second place. But Nami's going to take another victory.
And that means this next round he could get his finalist 100 points there and possibly lock it out the next one. It's looking pretty likely if we don't change tracks, which we do.
Yeah, it's got to be tough here, changing tracks can really throw it in the work again, and we're gonna head to one of DB's tracks finally. Sky Harbor. Probably, It's a tough one. It's a very tough one, especially these first initial corners. You get any loss of speed in the first sector before the first checkpoint can really send you back 5 to 6 seconds.
Some of the narrowest margins of any of the tracks in the map pack. So yeah, I would definitely say that I would count this as probably the hardest of the maps. In saying that, I don't think there's that big a difference in difficulty level between these, not for players of this level at least. It has been a very, very consistent map pack in that regard, but maybe that regard only. I have loved the variation that we have had in this set of tracks. It's been an awesome campaign to watch everybody go through, and I think everybody, no matter the driving style, has had their chance to shine.
Yeah, everyone's definitely had their moments of greatness. As you see, we've witnessed a lot of close battles and a lot of great racing and a great rounds, but
I mean, last two maps from Nami, right? Like, they've been unbelievable.
And this map as well is very tough to get correct as well. If you get one corner wrong, you can really throw a lot of time, but Nami's going to be the fastest one in this lobby by over 2 tenths here. So it does have a bit of pace on the field here, but can he make it come to fruition in the tournament rounds when it's needed?
We have actually seen Marshall Baines set some good paces on this, but consistency has been a problem for him here, and it is needed if he's going to close the now starting to look insurmountable gap to first place, and there's the problems already arising. It is now Nami and DB, the only one in contest right up the front there.
Yeah, Nami has a lot of pace at the moment, but DB's trying to close down the gap, gets a great section through there. This ice drift can really throw a lot of time away, but Nami's just looking too solid right now, using that experience to their favor, and it's looked like it's going to take round 1 here on Sky Harbor.
And I think, I mean, as much as Nami's gone into finalists here, I don't think there's a risk that he won't finalize, because DB will not take the early exit on this one. He always safes it on the finish line.
Yeah, always sends it, and it's going to be tough. DB and Marshall Baines need to shut down Nami at the moment. Nami has a chance to move on to the lower bracket final to join Hot Pran from this lobby. Is it going to happen, or are the other two going to shut him down? He's got a great run at the moment. Gains a little bit of time. Nearly a 10th already, which is not where you want to be for the others. It's not looking good here, Gex. He has a bit of time.
DB needs to win 3 back-to-back, realistically, and I think he's just lost too much time. So is Marshall Baines, actually grinding the wall there. And Nami running well up ahead here. The upside-down section from DB, but look at that gap. Nami is just absolutely powering on in through the ice section, and going to take the more cautious line straight through the center of that ice. I don't feel like Nami has any concerns right now, and will be finishing this out. Just needs the finish line, and there it is. A new best time from Nami to finish things off of 54.779, and quite the lap to finish our round on.
Yeah, 7th fastest world record time just then to finish off the round to claim their spot into the lower bracket final. Pran and Nami both move on to the lower bracket final to meet up with Scorp. And if I'm not mistaken, it is DB as well. Oh, no, I did it. I'm trying to catch up. And there we go. It's Pran, Scorp, and Spark they're going to be coming up against Nami's. That's going to be a tough matchup.
It is indeed. I mean, Spark getting down there in the first place was always going to be tough to beat. But as we discussed, we already had a pretty certain top 3 coming into this tournament. And we could only send 2 through from the upper bracket. So you were going to see a tough position. There was always going to be one ahead here. However, Pran, so fast in this right now, I think we actually might have a really decent competition for our lower bracket final.
Yeah, it's really going to be the question of who's going to perform against Spark. Is Spark going to pressure them too much with those quick times that we know that Spark can do, and it's going to force more mistakes than usual? But Pran is just looking absolutely on fire tonight. Does not look like it's missed any map practice at all. tough.
Looking back at our qualifiers, would you have predicted this at all? There's no chance that I could have predicted Pran being as fast as he is and consistent. It's crazy to be able to get a world record or anywhere near it, but those top 3 times, he's actually getting paces similar to that time and time again. Pran actually in with a good chance here. However, we will have to see that chance after a quick break. We will be back with your lower bracket finals. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back as we head into our lower bracket finals. We have had drama upon drama and upsets today. Hopefully as much as we get out of the F1 later tonight, but that's a different story. We are going to head into our lower bracket. We've been talking F1 off stream.
Yeah, F1's been the talk of this topic off stream, but the lower bracket final is what we need to focus on here. Spark being the one that should, in my opinion, should not be down here, not expected to be down here at all, which could throw one of these players that could be top 4 out of it. It's going to be tough here. Spark, Scorpid, Pran, and Nami. It's anyone's game here. It's just going to come down to who's running it to be consistent on the day.
I mean, it is just helpful that you have the 2 spots. I don't think that I would be talking about Scorpid or Nami as having a chance here if it wasn't for the fact that you had to sacrifice a round to get out the first qualifier, the first finalist anyway. But that one extra round is all it takes to put a huge question mark on this. I do think Pran, though, is maybe the only one here who could really put a question to Spark on taking the first spot out, and that would be really interesting.
Yeah, Pran's been on some absolute heaters lately, showing some consistent top times as well, like record times, which is Spark and Iridium's pace, which is what you need to put it up to these top 2. And I feel like Pran can be upsetting, but you can't count out Scorpid as well. Scorpid's been flying pretty low on the radar, but has been performing. He's here for a reason in the top 6, but 6 can only become 4 here.
I think one of the big things here is going to be, particularly for Spark, who has been inconsistent across maps, maybe not within them, but from map to map has had some inconsistency here, is going to be the maps. We are starting on Sky Harbor, and let's take a quick flying lap through that to take a look at exactly what he's going to be facing here and where those inconsistencies kind of lie.
Yeah, it's a great map here, and of course that first corner can catch you. If you just turn a little bit too early, there is a bit of a barrier you can nick. And if you do take it a bit too wide, if you go wide on the right side onto the balance beam pretty much, you can drop your front wheel and that can cost you an entire respawn. That's plenty of seconds lost.
Yep.
But the entire map is very, I think, a little bit tech heavy in my opinion. It's all about the drifts.
Absolutely, and one of those crucial drifts is actually just before this loop-the-loop, the wide right-hander past that post in the midsection of the map is underrated as far as how much time that is saving for the people who are doing that section right. If you take that really wide, way out to that left wall, you get so much more pace over your competitors. And of course, this is one of the harder tracks for the absolute finish here as well. Just that final jump onto the dirt section there has been a nightmare for some players.
Yeah, the final jump onto the dirt section, we've watched some people hit it a bit too hot and gone a bit wide and they've gone straight off the map. And being Sky Harbor, there's no runoff. There's no room for those errors. You have to do a full respawn, which can lose you multiple seconds, which costs you the entire round right there. But we are less than a minute and a half until we get into the first warm-up. But who do you think has got to take this one out? Who do you think got a bit of 2 to move on here, Gex, and a 2 to not move on? It is a very tough lobby.
It really is. I mean, my vote may sound fairly bland at this point, but I've got to go with both Spark and Pran. Whether Pran has the ability to take out first from this round, that's the question for me. And I think that this is actually going to be more neck and neck than people are expecting. I think Spark is in for a bit more of a challenge than he thinks.
Yeah, I'm pretty the same with you there. I feel like Spark and Pran are the 2 to beat here. But we have seen great shines from Nami and Scorpid. We've both seen them on certain maps absolutely shine and take a couple of wins. But Spark, we have seen those consistencies do show sometimes, even in the highest performing players. And it doesn't happen in this round. He has been waiting a little bit for this round as well, as the other players have had a bit of a warm-up.
Again, even for these 2 that we're not putting really into this contest as heavily for the top 2, it's going to come down to these tracks. If Scorpid can get Condorul, he made the map. He's got some expertise on it, and Scorpid has set some pretty massive paces on that as well. So definitely going to be hoping for their preferential maps here, and they don't get their pick and ban phase until next round, so it's still on random maps.
Yeah, and Spark's coming in here with the fastest time. He did set it 10 minutes before the tournament started.
Wow.
So he really was grinding out these maps till the very end, Spark. So he wanted to make sure he was running smooth. But as we head into the warm-up, we've really got to see who is ready to throw some hands and see who can take the first round.
Yeah, absolutely. Nami's not going to be taking the first round. Doesn't want to give too much up here. I've noticed there's a few races in Trackmania, particularly out of the APAC side of things, who won't take their warm-up lap. I don't know. It's just a superstition thing or something, but there's a few of them. They just refuse to do it. They think it'll curse them. Don't run the warm-up lap. I think there may be something to it though, because just on a mental state, if you go for your warm-up and you screw something up, you go into it with the expectation you're not going to make that corner.
Yeah, it can really throw your mindset up as well. Like we've also witnessed in a couple of the warm-ups where players have just been stuck on one section, one corner, and they just continue crashing there. And that can get you into bad habits, and that can throw your line off where you're actually really trying to focus on. But I don't know. I feel like this is really going to come down to consistency and this ice corner. If you can't get that ice corner, that ice ending, if you go a bit wide there, that really throws you off, and that can toss you about half a second. Especially
with Spark here, even a little wide there will cost you a position to Spark. He gets the inside line on that ice almost every single time. But let's start this off, watching it from Scorpid's perspective, who does get a very, very quick start on this as well. Looking like a good pace, considering the names he is up against right now.
Yeah, Scorpid really put it on a great showing at the moment. Goes a bit right there, had to let go a little bit, but still has a bit of pace. Whoa. And that seems to be... Is that another DC?
That's a DC.
Issue? That is not looking good then for
Scorpid's back. I think we're all right.
Back, so he's not far. He's still in the group,
Welcome
so he hasn't
APAC.
lost that much time.
Welcome to APAC. Nami, though, is going to go wide, and this is what we're talking about. Spark, the inside line, gets pace. Does he get the inside line on the dirt, though? No, Nami holding it. Has to finish perfectly. Does so, and holds Spark off. Nami taking out the first 10 points of the round.
Yeah, wasn't expecting that to be shown. Nami showing some incredible pace here. That's a great showing at the front. But Spark still not far off there. 54.6 is a great time. And I feel like... Oh, it's Pran! I talked about that inside barrier. If you take it a bit too early, you can hit it, and it does show. Pran's made a massive mistake.
Pran is going to be hating that this is the first map on here. I was going to say Pran, I think, might have some consistency issues on this track, and it might be the only track left that he has the consistency issues on. He seems to have just evaporated those overnight, and yet here he's going to struggle. This could cost him this round.
As this round is only going to go down to a 1v1 here. As Nami's made a mistake on the loop, Spark has over a second lead here. Has a bit of time to work with. He's going to choose to go inside still and take a bit of a risk. He's not wasting any time, not giving Nami any chance to catch up. And I feel like Spark here is going to take round number 2 here on this map.
Yep, and it's first to second, second to first, so we are going to see evening of the points in our top 2 here, and I think maybe the same for the back 2 here, as well as we see a swap from Pran and Scorpid in the back line. So 16 and 7 are the only numbers going to be witnessed on board out of the first 2 rounds. Does mean that we have some close competition despite errors, really.
And Spark took it a bit too far on the inside there of that start. He had to let go a little bit, but he's gained a fair bit already.
Nami, fast
risking the line. Spark has caught everyone. He's gone from 4th on one corner to 1st out of the next. And I think Nami has hit the engine off.
Oh my goodness.
Down a lot there.
Yeah, Nami straight to the back. And 0.3 of a second lost on the pace of the pack there. Scorpion's still keeping up here as they go through the underside and back into the grass corner, through the tight section there. That is deceptively tricky, and it really does push the point to me how good these players are. They can nail that line every single time.
But yeah, classic Spark is starting to show again, just controlling the pace of the lobby, pushing his time, and that's a new best time of the session, 54.4. That is incredible quick. That is very quick here.
Pran making his way up into second, very, very crucial for Pran to separate himself from the bottom of the pack here as well, and make his way up. Nami, though, has just gotten his preference here. Oh, Scorpid, no! The mistake off the error, and same with... Was that Nami that's just gone to the back? Yes, Nami had a full reset.
Yeah, Nami has a massive mistake. Scorpid also with a massive mistake.
Oh, Nami's out of this completely.
That last time by Spark was the 4th fastest time ever on this track.
Wow, that's insane.
That just proves the limit he's pushing against these two. Pran now is really giving it to Sparks. He's going a bit inside. He's sending it a bit more on the inside of the line, trying to cut down that lead as much as he can. It's all going to come down to that last section again. He gets a great run through the grass. It's all on his ice turn. Don't go wide.
Oh, he's taking it a little wide, but he's got a great exit on this. He may actually hold a little pace. Spark cuts the corner so well, though. And yeah, Pran just hooked his wheels a tiny bit there.
Spark's looking very solid here. That's another great time. That's 2 temps off that other time he just done. Pran's looking quick as well. Scorpid gets ahead of Nami. Nami had a massive mistake then, just getting across the line now.
And 6 seconds back from the first checkpoint, really. That was absolutely huge. Nami reset. Bizarrely, I don't know what happened there to cause that. He seemed to just reset while he was in the middle of the track. He lost a tiny bit of pace and then just hit the button.
It's very unfortunate. Sometimes you have to do it. You don't think you're going to have to line, or you might just be completely off. And you think it's going to be faster to reset, and you're going to have to pace to catch back up. But now we head on to map 2 in this lower bracket final. And it's going to be the one and only Daybreak. A beautiful map, I do say so.
Enough chaos on this last time around, too. Daybreak has really, really brought blood out onto the
this is where
onto
Spark
the track.
Through.
Yeah, exactly.
He had that moment.
And it's where Pran seems to do really well as well. So this might be a good chance for Pran coming back into here. He did get second back-to-back there in the last 2 runs of our last map. And coming in here now, he's got the chance to make his way back into second on the leaderboard. Nami still holding that position right now.
And hopefully, while they had the time, Scorpid and Spark have gone on and practiced these maps while watching the stream to see what the opposition's going to be like. So they're keeping an idea of what the times they averagely need to be. And just using a bit of the mind, as we're going to see Spark's first attempt at this, and he seems to be nailing it very well at the moment.
Nami, actually, with the error on that one. However, you know, this is the chance to make that error. You want to cut your lines too close on your warm-up, go for it. Just make sure that they are tightened up for the race itself, which we go into now as we head on down, really looking for Pran to prove the consistency that we saw earlier in the day, but Nami is going to be fighting to hold that second position and still actually within shot of Spark right now.
Yeah, they're still in hope. All Nami really needs to do is just get a couple first places here and hope Spark has a pretty bad run against a 4th place, and that really gives Nami a chance to take the first position. But as we see, Pran takes a different line than everyone through that section, has gained a lot on all of them. As this one, I think, is going to go down to the line.
Pran!
Spark makes a mistake as well.
No, Pran is well out ahead. Got an awesome lineup there. I don't think I've ever seen somebody take such a vertical lineup that and somehow maintained pace as well. He's got a decent lead here of half a second on Scorpid, who is going to take out second, but Pran ran away with that one. Spark coming in last. That's going to benefit everybody.
As we're saying, if Spark has a mistake and gets
the pressure,
place,
man.
It really opens up the door. Now Pran's in arm's reach. It's only 10 now.
This was one of the 2 maps that Spark choked on hard for that last one that ended him down here. So it's going to be pretty crucial. Spark instantly making an error.
Yeah, instantly. It's not what you really want to see here. This is really opening up the doors for Pran and Nami to start throwing some points to catch up. They need to both focus up here and get a consistent time. But also, Scorpid, great line through there, brings a bit of time back onto him. But Pran is just running these beautiful lines. He's really shown that those times that he improved on are really making a factor here.
Nami risking it there, ran very wide, manages to avoid the crowd stand. Pran well out ahead here, though. Just needs to nail this finish line. It hasn't been an issue for Pran, and he gets it again. Consistency starting to come out as soon as he gets off that one track. Like I said, I really think that last one is probably the only track left in the pack that he is not preferable on.
Yeah, I don't think the Skybridge is the one that he's liking. This one,
and there he is. He's in second.
Loving.
That's it.
He's really moved up, and now he's very, very close to Spark.
Wow, that's crazy.
It really has closed the door on everyone. They're all in arm's reach. Really, Scorpion could still go for the win here.
Spark needs some time into these first two tracks, but overnight was all you got left. You've got to do it in tournament now, and there is one round left after this one. If Spark can't close it out here and get to that round, he's not got any chance to prove that he can put consistency into these tracks. Spark runs wide. Pran out ahead. Scorpid right on top. This is a close pack.
Yeah, it's a four-way battle now. Nami's caught up to the group as well. Has taken a way faster line. He's got pace. He might catch Spark here as well. Pran holds it well.
Oh my goodness.
Beautiful time all round.
I don't know how Nami didn't scrape the side of the corner as that dip came through. We've seen so many people do that accidentally, but the perfect line through to the exit there. Just couldn't quite make the time needed to get past Spark there, but that does mean Pran out ahead of the pack in points. A single point separating himself and Spark now.
Pran and Spark. Who would have thought these two would be fighting for each other right now?
No, definitely, certainly not in qualifiers.
Insane. As you see, Scorpion has a better run through here, but he goes a bit wider than everyone on that section, which brings them back into contention. But Pran again is just leading the pack, and he's been the best through this section as well. Spark now hunting down, but Pran again has just got too much room here, Gex.
Big error from Scorpid back there keeps him out, and Spark chasing Pran now. He came from the back of the pack here. Spark made an early mistake and has made it up into second. Cannot take it back though. It does! Snipes it! The last second, Pran actually nails the crossbar of the finish line and sends himself to last.
After all that effort of bringing it so close. It was 1 point and Pran was in the lead. Now it's 6 points and Sparks is leading. Whoa. Every round matters.
That was the map to get that lead as well. He needed to get, hold, and defend a lead from Spark there on a map that wasn't preferential to him. And Spark now will be moving on to a different map. Condrel is the only other chance realistically here. I think that there is a chance for Pran to take Spark down. Not without some really ludicrous driving. The back end of the map pack, Spark has the advantage on.
Yeah, his back-end Spark definitely has the advantage. We witnessed it in the seeding round, but he only got one of them. This might be one of his favorite as well. This is open world. This is the second last map in the map pack.
This is huge for Spark.
This could really go well for Spark.
Pran is going to have to absolutely nail this if he wants to get that lead back. I really think he needed that last round, and it is unbelievably bare margins that he didn't get it by.
Yeah, it's very close, and I think Spark does have the fastest time out of the lot here, and he does, but Nami is right behind him, and everyone really setting their fastest times within the last couple hours before the tournament started. So everyone's been practicing for this right now.
Dedication to the craft and to the tournament. They want to get in here. Once again, I don't think we actually shouted out at the beginning of the day that we do have a really decent prize pool coming in here to all contributed by the community here as well. It is an 18,000 rupee prize pool, and that will be spread all the way down to 8. So we are already into prize pool well and truly here, and the top 4 will be earning between 6,000 and 1,500 Indian rupees there. So some big money on the line in the top end of this.
Yeah, you really want to be in that top 4 as well. That's where you want to be. Yes, top 6 right now, but if you get top 4, you really get bragging rights as well. Not just the money. The bragging rights is what you want. You're in the final of the ITC, mate. Finishing here would secure you the 1,000 rupee prize there, or 12 USD if you're watching from outside the country. Spark leading the first round here.
will be able to hold Pran off, but mate, not by much.
44.0 as well is another solid time.
Yeah.
That is the 5th fastest time in the world. First round in on this map. That is consistency.
And
That is quick.
and that's, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't gone and checked, but that's somewhere around Pran's personal record on this, isn't it?
Yes, that is very close to the record, yes.
Yeah, so if we're seeing Spark hit Pran's record on the first lap, I am very scared for Pran right now.
Yeah, Pran does not... This is one of the maps that Pran was struggling on. He is the 3rd fastest out of the group, but he has been struggling a little bit here. As you see, Spark has made a massive mistake. He's 0.6 behind the leading group, and it's a battle here. Freeway battle for first. It's all going to come down to the jump. Nami has the better pace, and snipes it from Scorpion.
Pran ran wide on that and tried to take back a position by going the low line there. Couldn't quite nail it. I've done it again, haven't I? I've done it again. So they can still see it at least.
Yeah. So good. It's not our beautiful faces, but we are back and running. As you see, that was another great round. Too close. Freeway battle for the lead all the way down to the last jump. As Nami got a bit of airtime, and that's really cost him a bit of time from the first 3.
Look, I told the community that I wasn't going to do that for 3 rounds in a row again today, and I didn't lie. It was only 2. So you guys get...
2.
Yeah, exactly. So I have kept my promise. Nobody can challenge me on that.
Yep, that's the one.
Scorpion, no! No! That is massive! And Nami shoots through into second. There's a fair gap to Spark, but Nami will take that second here.
Spark with another quick time, another 44.0. Wow. And Pran snipes that off Scorpion as well to get 3rd place.
That's crazy. Yeah, Scorpion. Oh, that's brutal. Coming from a fairly good 2nd place there as well. Was keeping pace with Spark even, and just clipped about everything you could in that section.
Yeah,
brutal.
He hit the inside and ended up hitting the dirt and just got sent off the corner of the wall. But it's unlucky. But Spark again showing that he can be consistent on these later maps in the map pack. And here we are again, seeing it happen again. As Nami and Spark are absolutely spot on the money between each other. And it's going to be whoever has the most pace for the engine off. And it looks like Spark has gained a little bit there. But, you know, if you jump a bit across on the early, which Spark is going to do, try and get the better run for the outside, and he does keep the pace. But Pran's had a beautiful
Oh, my
run.
goodness, Pran. You've got to be kidding. What a line through into the final corner as well, and has taken it narrow. He's got the line.
What a round. What a run then from Pran.
Oh, look at the gap.
Through that dirt section. 0.026. Couldn't have got any closer. What a snipe.
Absolutely incredible to see Pran still keeping it this close on a massively preferential track from Spark there.
Yeah, that was very solid from Spark. And again, but Pran, I don't know how he got the pace through that section alone. There's not much room to gain. Oh no.
Pran is going to be so happy right now. Condrel has come on. Spark is not going to be happy. It's not one of his favorites here. These first 2 tracks have been a thorn in his side massively. In fact, when he dropped down here, I would say Condrel was the main culprit for losing that. He didn't get a win for the entirety of Condrel.
And this is a fan favorite for Scorpion as well. The author, the creator of the map. And Nami and Pran are both 1-2 in the world records at the moment on this track. So this is the best of the best on this track right now.
It is a good chance for Spark to really kind of get back a bit of pride here as well. He's certainly licking his wounds from the last time he was here on Condrel, so he's got that chance to really bring it back and show he has this one in the skill set as well.
What really blows me out at the moment is the talent in the Indian Trackmania community. Like, for this to be a lower bracket final, this is not even the final. This is not even the final and it's this close. Like, it's ridiculous, the consistency and the runs that we are getting. Just the times, or pretty much world record pace consistent. But here we go. Round 1 of Condrel. anything can happen on this map. Anything can happen.
Another one where the drifts are so crucial, particularly in the early half of the track. Through 2 of the pace setters right now, in fact, already. Now the engine off block. Another one that you just have to maintain maximum pace. Nami does it with style here and is coming through with huge pace. Going to set the front of the pack here for that pace. But look at Spark straight back into it. Oh my goodness. A 4-man pack here that is unbelievably competitive.
Yeah, now we're going to come into this last section here. This left corner. Nami's taking the inside and risks it. It hits the wall. Spark has got the run and does take the first win here on the map.
And Pran will just be happy that Nami made a mistake because Pran counted himself out there in the last few corners as well. Huge errors. But that is because the pressure is on here. You have to take your best line every single lap from here on out. And the chance is still there for Pran. Spark only needs to finish here, I believe, to be in finalist position.
Yeah, Spark only needs to finish here. 4th place will get him into finalist. I think he knows that. He's taking his time with it. Pran now really needs to get going if he wants to open up the gap a little bit for Nami before he gets finalist. But it looks like he's going to do it here. This is a beautiful run here. This is a great sector. This could be a world record pace right now.
I hate that this is looking very similar for Spark like it did last time. So Pran, if he can win this back to back, he's certainly on pace to win this one, but a little bit of an error over the jump transition there means he has to defend it. What a line though. Absolutely pixel perfect. Finishes it off and Nami comes in right behind.
He couldn't have hugged the wall any better.
10 seconds back.
That is an oof moment. And yeah, Spark just taking their time, knowing they can get finalists, just getting 4th place. But now, we've seen Spark struggle being finalist before. Are the nerves going to kick in again here, Gex? Can Spark
2 wins from Pran. I want to see it. 2 wins from Pran.
Please,
if Pran comes through in first here, I would be thrilled. The underdog story, the upset continues on Spark. That's the story. That's the script right now.
Spark's looking pretty solid going in here, but look at the speed from Scorpion and Nami. They really got some pace. They are 3 wide going into this.
Oh no,
Spark
Pran
and
is
Nami
out of this, I think.
couldn't really split each other, but Scorpion's still staying with Sparky, guys.
And Pran moves into 3rd as Nami makes that error. Spark is still actually contested heavily here by Scorpion. Scorpion might be the only person who can stop the win, and he's gonna do it! Scorpion takes first and holds Spark at bay again! Condrul is taking lives!
This map has just been providing some of the best racing in the tournament. Another amazing round from Spark and Scorpion there, but Scorpion, that line he took for that last corner is absolutely beautiful. For consistent, everyone, the winning pace consistently, Gags, at the moment has been 49.2. I don't think I've seen a winning pace be anywhere higher than a 49.3, which is insane.
Yeah. Really, really fast rounds here. And for a lower bracket, like you were saying, Spark early out of the first corner, but loses it straight into the second. Nami out ahead now. Pran as well gets position on Spark, and that's all that matters right now. Points are barely relevant as long as you are holding Spark off. Somebody has to do it. Spark in 3rd now, but chasing very close behind. Pran slips into 1st position here, but it is by the barest of margins. Pran, an outside line. Spark has the pace. Spark a huge overtake here on not 1 but 2 with an error on Pran as he slips back. Spark might be able to do it. Does he? Absolutely bit it into the...
No! Spark's done it again!
You've got to be kidding!
He's done it again! He's hit the post! He's hit the finish line.
As finalist on Condrul, Pran has done that twice tonight. What is happening? Condrul's over. Condrul's done. Condrul's done.
Kevin, that's chaos. At least we don't have daybreak. It can't happen. We can't go to daybreak anymore. So he should be sweet now. You can't go to daybreak. That's when he was struggling as well.
This is going to be so even, it's unbelievable. Spark is definitely better on Mudvayne, but I'm sure he would have liked either of the last 2 tracks, but I think we already counted both of them out already, so... Mudvayne should be where Spark can confirm this, but Pran, yeah, like you said, he doesn't have finalists, and that's crucial. If there could have been
very close.
1 win out of Pran there, then we would be seeing a competition for first place out of this, but Pran has to do this twice, or at least have somebody else hold Spark off for the first round.
Yeah. Pran really only needs a 4th place and then a win. But you can't really give Nami that opportunity to capitalize on it. Because Nami has that experience behind.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot rely on anybody else here. Not on Mudvayne. It has to be Pran to win twice in a row here, in Pran's mind at the very least.
Minimum. If he wants to be confident to move on, he has to win these next 2 rounds. But Spark, again, has his opportunity. He was in the lead again and just couldn't get the finish. The short finish line's showing that they can cost you, and Nami has made a mistake. That's not what you want.
Pran ahead, though. Good for Pran. May be able to get this finalist spot out here if he's lucky, but has to hold off Spark, who is hot on his heels, biting at the tires. He's going to be chewing tread off those things.
And Spark does hold the world record here, so this might be a map he favors. But Pran has been grinding these maps a lot. We've seen consistent new PBs, but I think both of them had to let go. They did. Spark is flying here. It's got to be neck and neck to the finish line.
Spark, inside line there, but only barely. Will take it again, but he might have to brake hard. It's more speed, I think, from Pran here, but a better line from Spark. Continuously on top of each other. Spark may have screwed up the last corner, though. There it is. Pran goes to finalist. We have a race for first.
What a round on Mudvayne for the first lap. We are double finalists already, and Nami has a chance to make it triple.
This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Nami has to win now. Make it the triple. Nami on 90 points. Let's watch from his perspective. In fact, he is out in front. Could this be it? It is possible.
The APAC, the OCE region, wherever you're from, get on your feet right now. This is a race for the ages right now for this India Trackmania community. Spark and Pran.
I want to hear you in the chat.
Is running. Here we go. Nami does have the lead against Spark. This is what Nami needs. It might happen. Go on now.
Nami pulls out a little there, but that's a good line. Another one to hold this through. Let's check this from Spark's perspective, because he is right behind still. Not much in this. Nami might have lost a little bit of No, my goodness. Spark has ruined it again. We are going 3 to the end. You've got to be joking. The script is real. Scorpion's just going to win every round from here out until they're all finalists.
How can you pick a winner here?
It's triple crazy.
It's triple finalist. This is insane. This is insane.
Chat. Who is it? Who is it, chat? You tell us. You tell us now. Who is the first finalist? Who's coming out in first? I want to know from you guys.
There's no possible way Scorpion makes it a quad. There's no possible way, right? He only needs 2.
I see Pran. I see Nami. We've got to see it on track. Nami is going to start off right, but it's straight into the wooden corner. Oh, huge error there. I'm not sure who that was.
It was Pran. Pran's had an error.
Pran is out of the race.
Of the top runners. Nami's had an error as well.
Nami's out of it as well.
It's all on Scorpion and Spark.
And he's out in front. Scorpion is actually out in front.
No way it's going to happen. Go on, Scorpion. Hold it off. Spark's had a mistake. Scorpion has a good chance.
Oh, my goodness.
That's all on Scorpion.
There's no way.
We can't handle this.
Scorpion's a second ahead. All he has to do is not make a crucial error here, and he will actually close the gap again here. He will be within 10 points of finals.
And he's kept it smooth.
And that's
Nami
it.
can't close it.
Scorpion's going to do it. This is insane.
He's just got to make it through the finish line, and he's done it.
Who wrote this? Who wrote this script?
There's no way Scorpion goes another round and wins and makes it a quad finalist. If it does,
I know
I'm losing the plot.
I recognize this script. It's M. Night Shyamalan. This is the twist. This is the twist.
Oh no. 3 finalists, almost 4, can be 4 now. This is something. is gonna win. The nerves must be through the roof.
How has Spark been held off 2 entire maps while in finalist twice now?
How is this a lower bracket final? What is happening?
Scorpid's one wide. Pran out in front here.
Spark in behind. Scorpid's had a mistake. It's gonna happen here. It's gonna happen here.
First place will be taken right now without something major to change that. Pran is out in front. Spark with the lower line. Doesn't get the pace. There was a little bit too much turning involved in that. And Pran's holding it.
Pran is looking very solid now. This last section, this drift right in, this right-hand corner can be the trial of your errors. But Pran's looking good as you see Spark takes that risky inside line.
Oh my
goodness. He might have the pace.
That's
Spark
crazy.
Has pulled the biggest send from that dirt corner. He might hold the lead here. Spark does it. Spark is through. That is the quickest time in the session as well. How has he done that?
I really thought that Spark was going to bin it into the finish line again. That would have been on script. But there it is. Spark finally can get it out there. Pran right behind that. If Nami overtakes him here, he's going to be kicking himself. But there is another map change to go before we see our second finalist out here. What a race from Spark.
Spark somehow being the first one to reach finalists. Finally pulls through to get the win. Scorpid is still in reach to make it another triple finalist. We can't have this happen again. There's no way it happens. I feel like this map could be in Pran's favor. I feel like Pran performed here. Or was it Nami that was cooking?
I think both of them have the chance here, but it might be Pran that has the better consistency on this one.
It could go anyone's way here, but
it's only one lap that counts, so it really doesn't matter whether you have consistency or pace. It just has to be consistent for one lap.
I am cheering for Scorpid. I don't care what anyone says. I want the underdog to happen. I want another triple finalist. I want it to go down to one round and one round only.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? This is one of the craziest lower bracket finals I think I have ever seen. We are not even at the grand final yet, so strap in.
This could be a grand final at the moment. This has been ridiculous. It's been so close. Every round has been back and forth, side by side, the entire track. But it could all come down to this first run here on Sky Harbor. Can Nami or Pran do this, or is Scorpid going to upset them again?
Chat is calling that Scorpid takes second place here, so that might be a bit of a prediction there. Pran is in third right now. Nami out ahead.
Nami has a bit of a gap towards the field as well. But look at this. Pran has a bit of pace.
What a line.
Pran is gaining on the field. Nami might be getting caught here before this loop-the-loop. Pran's taking a different line again. He's going to have to push. Nami might be able to win it from here. Just got to hold off through this tight grass section before this ice.
And straight into that ice. You've got to remember to keep this really inside line. It's almost identical line from everybody, in fact, there. Nami is out in first, though. And Pran right behind. Nami has to make an error here, or it is going to be over. There it is. Nami taking second. I can't believe they held Pran off. That really did come down to what the last map would be, I think, there. Sky Harbor coming around for its second run in the round. And what a race indeed. Marshall Baines in the chat. Thank you for coming out as well earlier. An insane race. Now we move on to grand final.
Now,
only now.
After seeing the times that those four were doing in that, you gotta give your shout out to Scorpid and Pran. They were performing so well. But Spark and Nami moving on into the grand final to join Iridium and 42. Another great two players that this could go, I reckon, to quad finalists. These four here. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely could. And I don't know, this is just unbelievable. I can't believe we got so far. And realistically, a big shout out to Pran for holding off Spark so long that we could get that 3 finalist position there, but couldn't hold it for the second place either. So we will be sending Pran home along with along with our fourth there as well. Unfortunate to see them go out, but they've made it a long way in this tournament. And as we talked about already, they are in that top 8. In fact, top 6 there. So they will be earning their 1,000 Indian rupees there, and 750 rupees went to the people who went out in the last match as well. So I expect that in my PayPal account soon.
Marshall Baines, you heard the man.
Marshall Baines, you've been called out. But no, we do not have long until the next round starts, and it will be the final round. The grand final is coming up, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the final. Hello and welcome back for the final time here at ITC number 7, and it has been probably the most exciting AOTC event I have been a part of. The Indian Trackmania community has absolutely turned out today to give us a thriller. I don't know how we get better than our lower finals limits, but we've got to try. We're going into the grand final.
The only way you can really get better than the lower final if that elusive quad final comes out. But if there's any lobby that would do it, I think this could be it. The performance by, well, everyone in this lobby, like Iridium, he's had the pace. He's been number 1 seed for a while now for a reason in this tournament. But 42, Spark and Nami, you can't count out because they're just as quick, and they're Spark and Scorpion Spark and Nami, coming off that warm-up from the lower bracket final, which was an absolute bloodbath in my opinion. It was every man throwing everything they could have thrown. Like, all the lines that I've seen were probably some of the tightest lines I've ever witnessed in the game. Yeah.
And it has to be. You have to throw everything out right now because this is the biggest prize pool an Indian Trackmania event has ever had. And it is being fought for absolutely tooth and nail right now. First place out of this round will get 6,000 rupees. Second place will be 4,300. Third will be 2,700, and fourth will be 1,500. That's 70, 50, 32, and 18 if you're going by USD there. So this is into the big money. This is the final round, and this is our best races. There definitely was a fight for that title. Top 4 has not been an easy pace. We were thinking there would only be a defined top 3, and now I think it's top 5.
Yes, yeah, you can't really... We thought we had a defiant top 3 when we started the tournament, but that got thrown straight away within the first day during the seeding bracket.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was throwing out quick times on the first day, but this day 2 has just been a different level. And I feel like Nami has impressed me today more than anyone right now. To be able to be in this grand final, Nami has really grinded it out to reach where they are right now.
And yet, in our grand final, the lowest of the seeded players here is actually 42, who seeded unexpectedly low in 6th place there, with Nami in 5th right above there. Pran was in 3rd, in fact, out of the qualifiers, and ended up going out in that last one after a hard-fought affair. In fact, I don't think that the option was there for Nami to be here if Pran hadn't held off Spark that long. Yeah. So it really would have actually been the 1-2 finish had Pran just given that spot up, I think. So it's an interesting one to look at there.
Yeah, when you really think of it, Pran did really put out the grind and to make that happen. Yeah. And then Nami really stuck in 2 wins back-to-back to start it.
Yeah.
So that's how it works sometimes, which is unfortunate.
I mean, realistically, it's just as much work that was put in by Pran to hold off Spark that was put in again by Nami to hold off Pran. So it just is unfortunate for Pran that it didn't work the same both ways. But this is going to be our grand final, and it is a well-earned one to have gotten here. I just can't fathom the amount of shock that has come out of each round of this competition so far, and we are about 1 minute away from the beginning of finding out who will win it all.
Yeah, and especially it's coming in the grand final. Map 1 is gonna be Daybreak, if I'm not mistaken, or are we gonna be doing the map voting? Is that going to be a
it will be a map vote up first. So it's going to be interesting to see what that is. I think Spark, of all of the players here, is the one that desperately needs the pick ban phase to go in his favor.
Yeah, that's what you really want, and hopefully I think Daybreak might be picked against Nami, because Nami is I think a bit the slowest. I think it's 6th on the pace in the world record stats on this map, which is Daybreak. Seems to be the one that cost him a lot here. Spark and Iridium being 0.005 next to each other, 1 and 2 on the world records on this map is insane to me. That is spot on.
Yeah. Well, I think Spark, it's really going to come down to mental as well. He has to avoid the choke. It has been on display 2 races in a row for him. 42 realistically shouldn't have had the chance even to be coming through this in the upper bracket with Spark's early finalist position there. And yet Spark was held off by Iridium for 2 maps straight for Iridium to come out in first. Now, we are heading in. We will see these pick bands straight off the bat here.
Yeah, I'm keen to see which maps they do pick, because I feel like Spark has been very solid on the last couple maps in the map pack, where Iridium's been solid in the first couple maps in the map pack. And going off them being the top 2 at the moment, in my opinion, seeding-wise.
There they are.
Here we go. Well, so what would you go here, Gex, if you were going to go picking a map?
If I was who? Just me personally?
If you were Iridium here,
if I'm Iridium, I would be trying to get down Condrel and probably Mudvayne. I think are the big picks for me to. If you're looking at Spark as your biggest competitor here, which despite 42 coming through the upper bracket, that probably would be my priority, is hampering Spark here. And there it is, one of them coming out, Mudvayne straight away by Iridium, and I think that is one of Iridium's favorites. So
yeah, and you've caught it spot on the money. Iridium wanted Mudvayne, and it's been shouted. It's been voted, but now it's on 42. I feel like 42 has the world record on the first map, which is Condrel. Does 42 go?
Oh,
no,
Daybreak.
It's decided to go Daybreak. I love that shout. I love this map. My favorite map in the map pack.
If they go Mudvayne, Daybreak, and then Condrel still gets picked, this is devastating for Spark. I think Spark needs the next 2 to be Sky Harbor and Open World.
There still could be that. And Spark has the choice here. I think he would go Open World.
Yeah, I would think Open World here from Spark as well.
But because Sky Harbor does have that. Yes, he's taking his time with it. He's thinking about it.
He does have 20 seconds to continue thinking about that as well. But it is really a like I said, the map pack, while fairly consistent in difficulty across the maps, it's so varied in playstyle, and it does benefit multiple players no matter what your playstyle. And we have varied playstyles in the top 4 right now. Yeah. So I do think there it is, Sky Harbor getting picked out. We knew it was going to be one of those 2. Open World will be left there, and I'm pretty sure Spark will be hoping for Nami to pick that, but Condrel would be the smarter choice if I was Nami.
Yeah, I feel like Condrel will be the shout here, but Open World is still a solid map, and I feel like 42 has performed on it before.
I feel like Open World is far more. There it is. It was Condrel, and Open World will be the final. I feel like Open World certainly is a more even track for everybody, but that's probably why nobody is going to pick it as well.
Yeah, and it's also how the maps. We're going to be starting on Mudvayne as well, so it's going to be Iridium's match straight off the bat, which is exactly what they would want. But you think about Nami. Nami's got 4th pick. His map is going to come up last, which could really cost. But it's all about who can be consistent on each map. Each round on both maps really does matter.
Here we go. No map bans, of course, in only 5 map picks. I suppose that's fair. But let's see what we can get out of the start of this round as soon as we get into it.
Yeah, hopefully it will get onto it soon. It would be going to Mudvayne, which, in my opinion, is one of the toughest maps, most likely, maybe. But I feel like Daybreak's short finish is the toughest and most inconsistent to get down. But I think we are switching over now, so we should be heading onto it any second now, which is perfect.
Here it is. Mudvayne will be starting its warm-up now. And I think for Spark, he has to get as much out of the warm-up on Mudvayne and Condrel as possible. Luckily for him, Condrel is late in this map pack, but Mudvayne has been a thorn as well. Yeah,
Mudvayne has definitely been a thorn in the pack. We did say a couple of them have struggled with the later maps, but like 42 is... 42 and Nami are coming in as underdogs here against Spark and Iridium, but they have both been performing incredibly well today. that I feel like they can really put it up to them at the moment.
And 42 has outright had a beat on Spark already today as well.
Yes.
So it is definitely in the cards. I feel like Nami may be that slight step back, but with consistency issues, particularly on the side of Spark there, I think that'll hold up the points rankings and maybe just give that chance for Nami to slip into the ranks and up into third or maybe even second.
As we hop into Mudvayne, Spark does have the world record here, but he set it over 2 weeks ago. He's been playing this map for. So I'm keen to see how this first round turns out. But Spark has got a great time on here, and it seems to be Iridium's going to be leading us out here for the first dirt section. These outside sections are going to be very hard to get. You need to take it as wide as you can so you get as much pace. But then you want to dive on the inside of that grass. If you go a bit wide, you will pop up in the air, and that will cost you seconds. But look at Nami's pace. He's got the outside section to the spot. Has gone from first to first. Fourth from first.
Oh my
but then he's back down to fourth.
Every corner crucial when everybody is this fast. One pixel off a line and you will lose the pace for lead. Spark holds it right now. Iridium right behind. Remember, this was Iridium's match choice.
Yeah, this was Iridium's match choice, but Spark does hold the fastest time on it. And it looks like Spark is going to take round one on this map. And at 53.3 is a pretty quick time on here.
53.348 to start the round as well. Just shows what the expectation is from these guys. They are not going to be safing anything. I was talking as we came into today about, the expectation of where do you find those moments to take a little bit of safety, to make sure that your run is grounded and consistent. You don't get that option once you get to grand final. You have to take every corner perfectly.
We got a little bit of a round skip, but we are straight back into it.
That is a match pause.
We have these sometimes. You got to make sure it's all even playing field. You don't want anyone having an advantage.
We did see some rubber banding there as well. I'm not sure who that was on. I'm assuming since we saw it only at the finish line there, it was 42, and there he goes out of the match entirely. So he must be having some issues here. He did finish that last round though, so clearly was having issues before the game crash as well.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate there. Hopefully he can resolve that tag issue. I think it was a game crash, and it should be fixed just by launching. But this track here, Mudvayne, it's all about those outside dirt corners. If you do take it just a little bit too hard, you will clip it, and that's losing seconds there. But I don't know, Gex. Spark did go strong on that first run, but Iridium was just right behind him, knocking on his door. And
I think if this comes down to, particularly at the pace they're going, if it comes down to the consistency, I think Iridium wins that fight on Mudvayne. Despite Spark's better pace on his best runs, I don't know if he'll keep that up. Spark has to if he wants to win this.
Yeah, and Iridium did pick this map as well, was his pick. So he does seem confident going into it, but he has been performing on a lot of maps, not just this map itself. But Nami still looks like they have some pace. You've seen him come out for that up section, the uphill, and he gained a lot of time, but he had to take a shot, big right line off that jump down, which cost him a lot of time, and then just left the field behind him.
Despite
42.
Despite my expectations here changing throughout these 2 days quite dramatically, we actually, our top four is the top four we were given. It is scripted. This is scripted, guys. Yeah. Spark, Iridium, 42, and Nami in that order was the playlist we were given. I don't know if that was expectations, but Pran there was the fifth as well, and just barely missed out on the opportunity to be in the top four. So it would have definitively been fifth there as well. And Marshall Baines in sixth, who did have a pretty good run in there to kind of have a chance at holding to that sixth at the very least.
But you also got to look at the seeding bracket as well.
Yeah.
42 and Nami were 5th and 6th in the seeding. And they had to fight their way through some tough brackets. Yeah, Pran and DB were up there.
Oh.
And Spark was number one, and he got knocked down to lowers.
It was a huge upset for the qualifiers, I feel like, especially in that Iridium held that until only the last 2 laps were done of that entire qualifier round, where Spark got out ahead.
Yeah, Spark, you just can't let anyone really get a gap in these round-based Trackmania tournaments. Like, if anyone just gets at least 20 points ahead, that is still a big enough lead just to hold it for finalists. That's 2 wins at least they need. So when you want to be at least over 10 to 15 points when you get finalists, so you have at least a one round back, like a little bit of a gapper, you get me?
Yeah. Man, really hoping that we can sort the issues with 42. The match pause has been going on some time now, but it is crucial that we get the 4-man for the grand final here, or I don't know what we do here.
Yes, we don't really want to let 42 not compete due to technical issues, especially in the grand final, but not really looking good at the moment. I think he had to restart the entire PC, which is not really a good sign.
Still only a match pause here. We are seeing some practice runs from Spark, Iridium, and Nami here, but even that alone, they're going to stay warm while Nami is panicking here. The mental that goes out the window. I rarely see a recovery from this. Yeah,
it's going to be tough for 42 to come back in here after a DC, coming in with cold hands. Spark, Iridium, and Nami have just been sitting here practicing, running lap after lap after lap, getting this down, and hopefully the issues do get sorted. It has been a little bit now. So it's... Oh, and as we say that, 42 is back in the lobby. It has been sorted. Technical issues are fixed. So that's a great sign. We have a full grand final lobby back up and running. That's what we like to see.
They're just waiting for the all clear that the game is running as expected from 42, and we will be unpausing this match. And here we go, resuming match now. And we are not far into this. It has been 1 round. We are back in with 42 with all the chance in the world to make up the loss of the first round.
Hopefully 42 doesn't let that little DC get into the head a little bit and cost a mental. But we're going to see Nami and Iridium on a great start here. Absolutely flying and leaving the group. 42 had to do a little bit of a brake check, but Spark has taken a big dive. That's caught up a little bit of time, but Iridium's just going to hold it off. It's very close for his back section, though. This could be where the turning point is.
Spark's still just hovering off the rear bumper of these cars halfway through, but there is 42 making his way back in. He's already warming up his hands, and what a line through, maintaining some pace here. The back half of this pack is just absolutely condensed now. Iridium is barely out in front of it as well, but will hold it through right the way to the finish line, and what a finish it is. Gonna even up the scoreline with Spark.
And Nami, I think, has hit the finish line as well, which I think has cost him 3rd place. But 42, showing some pace, not letting the tech issues get to him at 16, 16, 7, 7. Same as last, lower bracket final. The script has been set again. It's been set up.
It was a slow start from 42 as well, so it's good to see that he just kind of got straight back into it, overcoming that mental issue straight away. Oh, Spark with a touch just barely on the upper wall there.
Yeah, it's not what you like to see from Spark. You know, low-key need to get the win going. You can't let Iridium get a freebie and gain some points. 4th place can really set the pace here. 42 has some insane pace at the moment, though. Speaking of
Nami.
That's a mistake from Nami. That's really going to leave the front 2 now. And that's going to be 42 taking the lead. Can Iridium try? Not quite. It's going to be
42. Oh my goodness, 42 with a massive wipeout. He had to dodge the post in the middle of the track and left himself in a line that careened him straight into the edge. Iridium left with no competition there. Spark comes in 2nd out from the back of the pack, and Nami and 42 will follow up the back there. 42 actually getting out 3rd place.
Spark got very lucky there. He was going to be 4th place, but 42 and Nami both made mistakes, which also keeps the gap between Iridium very close. And remember, we got to go to 140 points in this grand final, so it's still a lot of time to work with. You got to keep it close the whole way, though, if you really want to win this. All going to come down to your favorite maps.
Iridium rounding into first, but only barely. Actually might just have half a tyre's width,
Spark.
and Spark takes the line on both of them. As 42 fights this, he's going to slip back, and Iridium trying to take that early line to get pace. Spark gets it better though.
And Nami's also back in the back group as well. He's just about to catch up on Iridium. He's got to risk this one a little bit. Gets a better line than everyone else. Has a bit more pace. But Spark is just looking too solid. Nami sends it a bit too hard. It's going to cost it. Iridium's made a mistake as well. Spark has a clear run to the finish line. All back three have made a mistake. Nami's still in second.
42.
Holds off.
Oh my goodness. Almost takes it back on the final corner from Nami as well. But Spark well out ahead there. And with Iridium going into last there, that's going to be pretty detrimental to the scoreboard for Iridium.
And a 53-0 is an absolute great time on that map as well on Mudvayne. But where are we going next? Daybreak.
Straight
if I'm
into
not
Daybreak,
mistaken,
yep.
I think this is Spark's pick. Or was this 42's?
I would think this would be 42 because this is not one of the maps that has been beneficial to Spark. Consistency issues all over the place on this one from Spark.
Sparks does show more consistency on the later maps in the map pack.
Yep.
So Mudvayne was worked out well there, but Daybreak can show some cracks in the skin. And he does have the third fastest time, but 42 in Iridium out of 2 to beat here. Remember, Iridium set this time 30 minutes before the tournament started as well, so there's a lot of practice going into this one.
Iridium is incredibly consistent on this one. I'm surprised this wasn't Iridium's pick. Actually, I would have thought that Iridium would go, yes, let's lock that in early. I know I can take the points on that because he absolutely can. I expect Iridium to come away with this one.
Yeah, I feel like Iridium is the one to beat on this map, has been consistent throughout the day on it. But 42 as well has some solid times and has produced some upsets on this track. Can they do it again? But Nami and 42 are very close. They need to start catching up to this front too. We've seen this in the seeding round. If Iridium and Spark start getting space from the others, they don't really let them catch back up.
42 did catch up on this map as the result to get him into the finalist position in the upper bracket final as well. So 42 definitely has a good history on this map, particularly against Spark.
As we're going to head into the first round here as well, this first left corner right here, that first drift can really set the pace for the rest of the track. And as you see, that is 42. It has a pretty decent lead now, but Spark is going to be looking for this tight line and gets it pretty well. But so do the ones behind. It's going to be a lot of different lines being shown, but there's a four-way battle here the whole way through this track, Dex.
And they're all so similar. It's so hard to choose what is the better line there, especially when nothing on display is 100% perfect and there's nothing in it. Spark out ahead right now, but he doesn't have the pace to hold off Iridium. Does Iridium get the right cornering to get first place? He does indeed. And less than half of 0.1 there. And we see the difference be between Iridium and Spark. 42 coming in third and Nami up in the back.
That was a great round as well. 0.00 between them. Not much between them. 0.05.
Look at the points on the board.
38-39. First place is where you want to be. This is what happens. If you go first, you win the tourney. It is the grand final. And Iridium and Spark are putting on a show for the ages here. I think that was 42. That's taken that a bit awkward. He has so. Iridium has the early lead here on Sparks.
Nami going to be able to keep pace and just put Spark as the meat in this sandwich. Iridium, the bread on the front, is holding that pace though. And he's cooking well. Right now, Nami still keeping almost that exact same distance, but Spark is closing it. It is an intense race right now for that front line.
And they both take that same line, but I think Spark's got a better exit here. They've taken a different line through here. Iridium holds it well, does make the jump and takes it again. A 48.1. Some beautiful rounds coming out from both Iridium and Spark. Great times.
42 never fails to get that early entrance, but it has not been leading him to victories so far on the map. Now Iridium starting to get a little bit of spread on the board here from Spark, but nowhere near enough to be comfortable.
I'm thinking this was 42's map pick as well, as it's not been quite the best performance that he was looking for here. Still quite 1 point behind Nami and a couple points behind the top 2. But you see Iridium again showing this consistency. What a line. He's hugged the wall to perfection. The pixels there. He's going to try and take this to outside so he can keep full speed. Gets a bit of a break. And this corner now is just absolutely everything for this last section.
A great line for the drop down from Nami means he is in contest here. Huge error there. Sends Iridium to the back of the pack. Spark now out ahead. Nami contests though and has the pace. Does he absolutely nail this last line? Because he needs to. No, Spark snipes it back. And a contest on the front of the pack is held well.
And that's big points there. I think Iridium, got 4th place there, so Spark now takes the lead. One bad round from Iridium gives Sparks the lead, and now it's a 2-point game again. But what a round we just seen. It's just non-stop. The top 2 again, just side by side over the finish line. I don't know who can win this one. It's going to go everywhere. Yeah. We've still got a long way to go here as well, guys.
And still not far enough to completely count out Nami or 42 here, but Spark and Iridium really are in their own race right now, and that last error from Iridium cost him what was only made up over multiple wins to gain back a lead on Spark here. Spark just showing that he does have the pace and he can bring out the consistency.
As Nami's going to try an outside line, he's going to work a little bit to catch Iridium, but he makes a mistake. Spark holds it well, does it. And Iridium makes it across as well. 48-1. Amazing times. Back-to-back. Consistently 48 ones is ridiculous. That's top 7 world times back-to-back.
Wow. Kind of crazy that Nami didn't lose a lot of time off the shoulder of the road there. He skipped across it, but certainly did lose the pace that could have gotten him up into maybe 2nd there. But again, it's Spark and Iridium that go head-to-head. As we move over, it's Sky Harbor now, and Iridium really needed to be out ahead at this point, I feel like.
Yeah, Iridium definitely needed a lead here. This is where Spark has been shown pace in these last couple. The last maps in the map pack has been Spark's forte. But Iridium has been showing some pace here. But Nami on this map specifically has been one to watch out for, in my opinion. Has been consistently up in the top 2s back-to-back rounds, especially in that lower bracket.
Fortunately for Iridium, I think that this is slow, well, more than slow enough pace when you consider where you have to go to 140 points here to see Condrel come back into the mix on this, and that could really, really change this scoreboard up again. I think Spark will probably dominate here, and he may get even a fair lead, but as soon as Condrel comes back around, Iridium is going to be right on his heels.
Yeah, Condrel is one of those maps where anything can happen. A lot of points can be won, a lot of points can be lost. But the same as Sky Harbor here. If you just have a crash in that first little section, you have lost over 2 to 3 seconds because you might have to respawn, which is not what you want. But it's going to be round 1 here. Sky Harbor. Who's going to take this first one and show that they've got pace on this map? Is it going to be Spark keeping the pace, or is it going to be Iridium closing the gap again?
Spark actually starting as the backmarker here. I believe this was Spark's pick, wasn't it? This map?
Yes, it will be.
So, yeah, really strange to see him starting off a little slow there, but he does have the lines through the mid-sector of this map, I feel like, and he's proving that right now.
But Nami still holding side by side with Spark, running these identical lines, but you see Nami and Iridium pushing that inside line to the limit. That gives Iridium a bit more pace here. This grass section is going to lead up to this nice section. The transition into the ice now. Inside is where you need to be, but Spark is holding it well.
What a line through the ice. Spark holds that first position. Iridium may have gotten a slightly better jump. He needed a perfect one there, and he's going to go to last for risking it.
2nd to 4th by just taking the inside line, trying to get the lower jump to the finish, the pace. But Spark is opening this door. Less than halfway. He's over halfway now to calling his name to be the champion of the RTC.
He is really, really booking it to try and lock this in. He knows he has to take it while it's his map preference, and it is his map preference right now. Some really big pace being set by Spark out here. And most of it, like I said, gained in that midsection, then just holding that lead right to the end. Iridium right behind in this midsection again as Spark sets the pace back around that post, wide into this upside down section. As we go underneath, you see Iridium just edge out ahead. It might be a race here.
It's going to go down to this last section again, Gex. It's all about this ice. The inside line you can get, the better. It is about spot on. They are side by side. This dirt section transition is well by Sparks. He might have the corner. He has the pace, takes the safe route, and gets an Iridium centered. And he's lost another position again.
Yeah.
He risked it again.
I think he's trying for that bit when he knows it's super close. He knows that Spark is going to be going absolutely to the wall there, and that Spark is probably going to go that right-hand side. There may just be like half a tenth or something in that little change to that different gap between the trees. I think that's what Iridium's trying for, but you can't... I feel like of anywhere on the track that you should be safing it, it's there.
Yeah, but also, the times they just ran in that run were the 4th fastest time ever driven on this track. That is pace. But both of them showing some great pace. But look at Nami at the moment. He's got a clear little bit of a lead now. Has a bit of time to work with. Takes that to perfection. This could be Nami's chance to bring it a bit closer. They need this. 42 also needs a big run up. They need some good runs here. It's looking like it could potentially be a 1-2 for them.
Speaking of leads, though, Iridium at the back again. He needs a beat on Spark here, no matter where it is in the pack. And he has made back some big time here in the ice now. Spark gets the right corner, though. Edges out in front of Nami. Who's going to take it? Nami! Oh, my goodness. Nearly snipes it. Look at the difference there.
0.013. What a round. Great rounds all round. Oh, Nami almost snipes it with the bit of pace coming up that uphill dirt section. It's so hard to get well, but almost still Sparks' pride and joy then. But Sparks just absolutely performing on the map pick.
Yeah, Sky Harbor. He has not lost it once when the pressure is on the highest. Grand final. And he is finally bringing out more consistency than I think we've ever seen from Spark.
And this is where the map pick makes a big factor. And it's all down to the top 2 again at the front. Iridium's got the lead here, but Spark, I think, has a bit more pace going into this back section. If you get the inside line and you cut this corner a little bit, they both try, but I think Spark's got it better. He might gain a little bit here, but no, look at Iridium's flying.
Oh my goodness. Iridium with some massive pace here. He's looking for a PB this run, apparently. Oh, that's very, very close to the wall. Think he did make a touch there, and he's lost the pace. Spark edges out in front for only a moment. This is going to be so close. It's crucial that he makes it, and he did. This time, Iridium takes the line through the middle gap in the trees, and he actually makes it work.
Sky Harbor has produced some of the closest racing we've ever seen. And again,
look at that time.
0.04. Again, nothing between the top 2. Great
Except
rounds
points.
all around again. Points that are mad in. There's the 100 mark. The century's been hit. 40 more left. That's only 4 wins now.
Points were crucial there to gain from Iridium, and he could only get the 1 win out. Now they have to hold Spark at bay for much longer than last time. I don't know if this is doable. Spark was held off for the entirety of Condrel last time. They will have to do that again.
And this is Nami's, I think, map pick here. It could be. And this is the one that Nami has the world record on. By a little bit, but Iridium is quick here, and Spark is... I think this is one of the maps where he was inconsistent on, that he couldn't really get down properly, he couldn't get consistently into top 2. It could open some doors
This is where we've seen Spark hit the finish line several times today. So Spark has to make the jump. That's going to be the question. Can Spark finish his runs?
But then we also bring up that option on Daybreak where it also happened multiple times for Spark.
Yeah.
That's also coming up soon.
Yeah, that'll be coming back around as well. This is... If he can't make it count here on Condrel, it's going to be brutal. This cannot happen a second time in a row to Spark. It's almost identical as a position.
All right. hopefully Nami and 42 can turn on the afterburners here on these last couple maps, and before it resets the map pack. But Bark seems to be the one to beat here. He's almost got a 20 or so point lead on Iridium right now.
Nami with massive, massive pace. You can see why he is the world record holder on this one. Early, he has made it from the back of the pack to the front. And then some, but Spark has held up and is now... Close. It's a big, big contest here. Spark in finalist position. If he makes the last few corners here, could make this the last round for himself.
And Nami has done a well corner there, but sends it a bit too hard.
Hit. Spark, don't hit this finish.
Spark just got to get 3 more.
He's got it.
3 more he needs.
Yep. 40 points off.
Finalists.
And he's closed it by 10.
Nami with a big mistake, though.
So close.
This would have been it.
They really, really needed to hold Spark off for every round of this track, or I don't think they can close the gap. Iridium needs every point he can get here.
Yeah, Iridium needs to show some consistency on this track, and this is the start you need if you're Iridium. It's absolutely cooking, but look at Nami. Has been so well at this track, and this corner for here, I feel like they gained a little bit on Spark.
Yep, huge, huge. Again from the back, just an early line there that goes wide. It loses some time, but gains speed massively, and you make that back up tenfold. Nami well out in front here with Iridium chasing, and a bit of a gap back to Spark. This is exactly what is needed. Oh, Nami's out. Oh my goodness, Iridium doesn't make the gap and is gone.
And 42 gets past Spark, and Nami's going to take this one. That is a great sign. 42 brings it back. But big mistake from Iridium and couldn't make the jump. Somehow Spark has reached it to be able to make that.
Really nice to see
in the same spot.
That Nami is coming from the back of this scoreboard to make some points here and keep Spark at bay. But you really wanted to see Iridium make that gain on Spark there as well for a fight for first place here. And as much as Nami maybe keeps himself in contest for second, I don't think there's a race between Spark and Nami right now.
Yeah, Iridium with the big mistake at the start.
Everyone.
Whoa. Was that Nami as well?
That's everyone. Spark is just out alone.
Spark has got a big gap here, nearly half a second on 42. 42's going to need to push hard on this last section to help out the other players, but Spark's taken the lines like he's not even trying to play it safe here, Gex. He's still sending it through this last section.
I don't think you can afford to glance away for a second to look at that scoreboard to see where you are on the track right there. So yeah, it is send it full bore around every single corner of this track right now, but Spark makes it work and another 10 goes away.
He's only 16 points away from being on finalist right now, and he has nearly a 40-point lead. Spark is on a different level right now, consistency-wise. Iridium just can't match it right now, and now Nami and 42 just can't quite get it down either right now, Gex.
Spark is just proving himself. This is what I was saying. This was his last chance to prove that he can do Condrel right, and man is he. As I say that, the Caster Curse comes out. Spark is gone from this round. Nami and Iridium out in front by some margin now on the pack.
Well, happily, we haven't really had much Caster Curse happen. Iridium nicks the water, and Nami has a bit of time to gain on Iridium here for the second place position as well. Spark is in dead last. This is what Iridium needs, but he needs to catch up at least 42 to gain over 6 points on Spark, but it's not going to be that. It might just be 2-day gain on him.
Nami again, but every time Spark falls to the back here, Iridium can't really gain the points on him. It's a 1-point advantage. That isn't anything here. That's not worth talking about. Spark is at 127 now. You need to make wins, Iridium.
Yeah, it's really what you need to do, but how we head on to the map pick, I'm pretty sure this is the map that no one picked, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, correct. This will be the random pick, which is not actually random. It's the leftover, yeah.
Yeah, the leftover. Which is still a great map to play and watch, by the way. This map pack has been absolutely perfection for tournament racing.
Yeah.
It's
Open
been
World
great.
might actually be my personal favorite of the map pack as well. Just to race, I really enjoy the lines on this. Just a very, very clean map. I feel like it flows.
I really like Daybreak's got to be my number one for me. I really love just the scenery on that map. I feel like he matches the vibe of the track. But
Well, we'll have to
Spark
see
can shut down here.
who favors this the most this time around.
Does Spark win the tournament on this map? He has been performing very well on this map.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. He's been flawless.
He has been the one to beat pretty much since the beginning, but did have an unfortunate run to get knocked down to the lower bracket, but has proved why he was number 1 seed.
He's more than 20 points ahead of Iridium, and it would take a run like last time just to close that gap, and that's before we even hit finalist position. So Spark has a lot going for him right now, and a map that I feel like this back half of the pack has always benefited Spark. So we are going to head in for our first round, and I feel like we should be able to see the preferences come out from these players of this track pretty quickly.
Yeah, still a little bit leans toward Tech in my opinion, so it might fit Iridium and Spark a bit more. But I've seen Nami do some amazing times on this track personally. But Spark is going to come from 4 through the engine off. He might end up all the way at the front of the pack. It's going to be a 4-way battle all the way through to this last sector. And Spark gets the best line out of everyone and clears the field.
And Nami getting left behind a little bit right in that last sector there. As Spark comes around, he's got this sorted. Oh my goodness, went for a very low line there. Thought he may have binned it for a moment, but Iridium following it up. Things seemed back to normalcy for Spark and Iridium.
Yeah, he's playing with some confidence now. Really sending everything on the line. A 44.025 is an amazing time. That is 6th fastest in the world. They're still producing these quick times, record-breaking times, potentially, in rounds, which that blows my mind.
Yeah, exactly. In a grand final, risking it enough to go for a record-breaking attempt on a run is absolutely insane. They obviously are playing it just ever so slightly safe, but you have to. You don't have the opportunity to be going for a PB every single run.
And Iridium needs to get a win here. Sparks made a mistake early on. If Iridium gets a win here, this closes the gap a lot. This helps out a lot, but he's going to take it.
Oh my goodness, Iridium!
It's going to be a 3-way battle. Oh boy!
Oh my goodness.
What a round!
0.025 between all 3 of the top 3 there. As 42 falls back. Spark is in finalist position now as Iridium finally gets over the 100 mark, straight to 109. Can he close the gap before Spark closes out his position and takes first in this tournament?
Spark can end the tournament right now for himself and win it right now. ITC 7 couldn't be Sparks. He's got a great run now. It's going to be Iridium who needs to shut him down. He's got the best run out of the lot. He does make a stake, though.
Iridium.
It's all on Spark. He has room to work with. He's got 2 taps.
It has to be 42 and Nami. Spark has to make an error here. 42 does. Nami, the only one left who can take this.
No!
Nami makes the error as well. They are pushing their limits and they are finding them. Spark is the only one setting pace here and gets the low finish again. There it is. Spark comes out as number 1 for the tournament. He's going to take home the money, the big money at the top of this. But we have more to be seen. Iridium is leading up for 2nd spot, but Nami is not far behind now.
And congratulations to Spark as well, taking 1st place in the tournament. Pretty well deserved coming in 1st seed from the seeding round and fighting his way back through that lower bracket after the upset he had. Really changed his mantle and helped his way back in. But this is all comes down to 2nd place now. It's still on very close between Nami and Iridium. But Nami's had a mistake early here, guys.
Nami is way back. 42 would have to win this for Nami to really maintain chances here. at the finalist position, and there is a good chance of 42 doing that. Has to hold pace here. Is going to get back in front. Needs a perfect line into the dirt. Does so. What a line. 42 is having the lap of his life right now. Has to hold it. Does so. Has pace. Has gap. Has the win. And Iridium is held back. The 6 point there. Nami will be able to finish with only 2 points lost to Iridium.
And another great round, 0.6, and they're consistently running 44.0s, which is 7 fastest times in the world. Like, the times are consistently insane, but that's what Nami needs to keep going. But 42 really saved that there, really helped out there. Here we go. Whose map pick was this one again? This would have been Iridium.
This was first pick, so this would be Iridium, yep.
So Iridium can really take second place here on this one.
Back to Mudvayne. Iridium, will be looking to close out here realistically. I think certainly watching the first time around, Iridium had the consistency to do that now.
Yeah. And he definitely has the pace. Spark is out of the picture now. You don't need to worry about it. But it's just going to be 42 and Nami. Nami is still really only one win away from Iridium really getting a third place in that win. That really brings them back into it neck and neck.
Yeah.
42 is still in arm's reach. It's doable, but he really needs to perform in this later rounds here.
Yeah, I mean, 42 really just needs a map preference where you can go, okay, 42 has the chance to win every single lap on this map, and I don't feel like we have that map for him, unfortunately. There are possibly maps I could maybe say Nami has a chance to do that on, but realistically here, I think that is where the race lies. Iridium and Nami is the remaining competition here for that second place.
Yeah, it's definitely between the top two at the moment, but hopefully 42 can prove us wrong and do the underdog comeback, which I'd love to see, but if Iridium gets going on this map at the start here, I feel like the lead might grow and finalists could be hit here.
Very quick start from Nami, though, and a good line to hold this will have to make a difference. Everybody right on top of each other,
Side by side going through that entire dirt section, which is not what you usually see, and we're still very close, within a tenth. Nami makes a mistake. This leaves the door open for Iridium. Over a tenth now on 42 as well. 42 might have to risk a little bit on these back lines going through this upper dirt section.
Iridium gonna cut the angle close, but so does 42. That gap is almost nothing. 42 takes the lower line. He's made some pace, but Iridium can hold him off and take the first set of 10 points out of Mudvayne.
It's a great time as well of 52. Anything 52-wise is very solid on this track. But Nami needs to get a couple of wins here to bring it close for this second place now.
11 points for Iridium to get into the finalist position, and a few more here for Nami. It is still growing, that gap. 42.
It's very close. 42 is showing consistent speed at the start here. But Nami has a pretty good line here. Spark lost a bit of pace there, and it's going to bring the other two back into this one very close for this uphill section.
Oh, Iridium's gone wide there. Has maintained a lot of pace, but lost a fair bit of time there. Nami out ahead, and as much as that is not much of a gap, it's probably the largest gap we've seen.
Yeah, it's probably the largest gap, and as we see, Iridium's made a mistake. That's really slowed it down. All Nami needs to do is hold 42 at bay. They grabbed this 10 points, and it's looking like it's going to be there, but 42 is taking a risky line, and it might work, but Nami holds off.
Nami gets the downhill to just get that speed boost and take back the lead confidently by the finish line there. And there it is, closing up the gap a bit there. 10 points to only 4 from Iridium, and suddenly back in the race goes Nami.
And Nami still has to bring this back. Iridium needs to win a round to get on finalists
42.
from here. 42, the big mistake at the start.
Collected the sign there, and Iridium with a little bit of a lead here, but look at the pace. Nami right on the heels. Iridium again around over onto that jump and keeps taking that high, but the landing is so early that he maintains so much speed through all the way to here.
But Nami is right on the bump of Iridium going through this back section again. But Iridium gains a little bit again through that turn. But this dirt section, Iridium seems to have the better line, and it seems to pay off on the exit. And it might pay off again. Nami's not going to be able to reach unless there's a mistake from Iridium here. And that's going to be another one. That is finalist for Iridium. Second place might be yoinked now.
Iridium doesn't make that mistake, apparently. Nami is really chasing hard here, but the gap is substantial by the time you see the finalist marker come out. You will see that F next to Iridium here, and one more win will secure our second place.
GL's coming out, support's been shown, and it's going to be a grudge match between the two. 42's made a mistake at the start. All on Nami now to shut down Iridium, their arch nemesis, but Iridium has had one of the best starts I think we've seen this entire
this is
final.
pace. Iridium, is he looking to close this out with a record? It's possible he is on pace.
But he's got over a second now on Nami. There was a massive mistake on the uphill. This might be second place for Iridium. He knows he's got the time. He should be checking the splits now.
Iridium absolutely has the time, but I think he wants to go out with style. He is still sending it every single corner right to the edge. He's got pace. He's got line. He is coming through for second position into the finish line. There it is, a 52.965. That is a quick run.
Yeah, that's a very quick time. 52.96.
And a new best to finish it off, too.
But GG's to Iridium, taking home second place. And the second place reward. The rupees is all yours, mate. GG's there. But now, we still got more to go, Gex.
One more map change,
place.
yeah. And that's going to be interesting here because this map, I feel like, could go either way. Nami with the best opportunity here to go into third. However, there is still a contest here. There's a little bit of wiggle room before Nami gets that F next to their name.
Question is, who's going to take it? Does 42 bring the comeback? It's still in reach. It's really 2 wins away. But Nami only really needs... I can't get it in 1, so that's really going to suck. So they really need 2 wins here.
Yep,
to even get finalists.
Yeah, I mean, well, he will get minimum 6 points from here on out because there's only 2 races. So he will be getting two races, and he will be guaranteed that spot. But that 10 points in both those races could lead to 42 with a chance to hold it off. It's a big if though on that.
100%. As I've been spectating 42 during this warm-up, and he has been just practicing each and every single one of the corners. He's got one of those uphill corners. He was just sitting on it for about 30 seconds, I think, just making sure he was getting it perfect.
Yeah,
Make sure he had the line correct.
He has to get this perfectly every single time, or he is going to come out 4th here. In saying that, he's come up from 6th from seeding, so it has been a good run from 42, but Nami, arguably an even bigger run up here, just as far as expectation goes.
I mean, 5th and 6th seed right now. From the seeding bracket in the grand final, fighting for the 3rd position, the 3rd place. It looks like this first round on Daybreak might be going to 42 unless Nami can bring this one back. He's reeling him in a little bit here. He's got to get the inside line, which might help him get the angle here. And that could bring them into the pace, and it's going to be side by side. Remember,
this was 42's map pick as well, so you would expect 42 to have the pace here and the consistency that Nami apparently is lacking. 42 coming through here again, and the finish line on just display there for you. Nami coming in the back will get the 6 points, and here we go. 42 starting to reel it in.
Yeah, 42 does have the faster times out of the both of them here and the most consistent times. So 42 couldn't have asked for a better map to come at the better time. Really needs to get another 2 wins here just to reel it in, because no matter what, Nami, I'm pretty sure, will be on finalist after this round.
Yes, correct. 6 points at the end of this means actually 141 it would be, so it guaranteed the finalist position by the end of this. But 42 it's going to have to be win after win after win to secure anything here, to have a chance at this. 42 has to be consistent.
It's a near impossible thing to do as well, especially with the experience of Nami, who's been playing the game since 2006 to 2007. But has lost a little bit of pace there. Touched the inside of the sand, and that's going to leave 42. But 42's hit the wall, and Nami's going to take this round, maybe.
It's the
and
only round that 42 actually could have afforded to lose, though. So it wouldn't have mattered too much there. It still has to be roughly the same amount of wins to come out after this point. Does take the win, though. The 10 points is going to be very, very helpful.
But now 42 still needs to win 2 more rounds to even get finalist. 3 in a row to nab the 3rd place from Nami. It's a pretty much near impossible task, especially with the consistency of the field. But it is going to be side by side for this first section. Nami's gone wide. This is exactly what 42 needs.
Good lead. 42 out in front, and hopefully confident with it as well on the map pick of his choice. It's been one of the least consistent tracks for every racer on the field, but 42 has been one of the more consistent on it. I can see why the pick was made. And I said that if 42 had a chance here, there needed to be a map where I said he could take out a win every single time. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is that map.
This could be the map, because Nami's just made another big mistake behind him. That's a freebie. One more win to get finals as well. It's gonna be tough, but this is the map to do it on. Hopefully, I think there is one more round on this map before switch. If not, it switches now.
The switch being at the end of this is brutal. If 42 does reel it in, gets finalist, and then switches off his map, we go straight to Nami's map.
Yeah. Which is what you don't want, but it's about to happen. If 42 is sending it here. Has got the lead by a little bit now. Nami can't really afford to give 42 the chance to even get finalist. But it could be on now. But Nami gains a little bit through that dirt section. He's going to look for the inside line for here. None of them can quite get it. But here we go. Nami's closed the door down.
Oh my goodness,
this
Nami.
Could be it.
What a line, but 42 just barely holds the lead. Nami made an error through this section last time and won't this time. Had to reel it in, though, to avoid hitting the wall. 42 only needs to close out the finish line, and there it is. Double finalist for 3rd place. We finally have our race on for the last position to gain here, and it's not going to be played out on Daybreak.
42 has, I think, won 3 to 4 rounds back to back there to bring this back in, and it's gonna be Sky Harbor. Chaotic map.
And it's Nami's pick here as well. This is brutal to 42. And I gotta say it, I think Nami's got this in the bag. 42 was having a nightmare of a run on Sky Harbor. This is not 42's map.
If there was ever a warm-up that you really need to warm up for, it is this one right here. It's only going to be 1 round, and 1 round only is going to claim 3rd place. And judging by the warm-up, there is not much between them.
And these are 2 teammates as well. Piwo representing out here on both of them. 42 just barely into this finalist position, but did he get here just too late?
It's going to be tough. But like you said, it's all going to come down to this one run. I wish there was an extra run on this track, but doesn't work like that, sadly.
Does not indeed. The brutal thing is that if there was 5 points more towards 42 earlier in this series, then we would have seen this carry out on Daybreak a round earlier.
And that could be the difference here. And it all comes down to this, Gex. This first corner, it's Nami has got the lead, which is what you want. But 42 is still not that far behind him. It's all going to be on his inside, and 42's made a massive mistake.
Nami
That's not what
has
you
to
wanna
make
see.
a big error here, or this is all over for 42. 42 is making up time where he can, trying to take narrow lines, go wide on this, out to the exit, and get every ounce of speed out of your line that you can. He knows he has to pick it up here. He cannot afford to cut anything. Follow him under the underside there as Nami goes under the grass. The gap is just not closing.
He's closed it by 0.4, but it's not enough. Nami's been solid through this ice all night.
What a line.
42 trying to get the inside as much as he can, but Nami has just seemed to be too much consistent, and that is got to be third
Oh
place.
my goodness.
Nami takes it. 42 put up a fight for off their life to bring that one back to finalists.
Absolutely fantastic. And had that carried out one lap earlier, we may have seen a different story. We certainly saw that the map picks benefited their pickers for sure there. But Iridium and Spark were the big competition there. Spark came out on top. Unbelievable race, 2 days back to back from Spark. There was question on him with consistency, and particularly in the grand final, under the most pressure you will get, he finally came out and gained that consistency, and as a result, he picks up the big money. He picks up 6,000 rupees. Second place going away to Iridium will be the 4,300, 2,700 there to out. Third place in Nami, and the last place is 1,500 rupees for 42 there. Yeah, crazy
Really
race.
place. It's still
No, last of grand final. So yeah, it's certainly
It's
not last
still-
phase.
What races have we witnessed today? Today's been one of the most closest battles for the top 8 I've ever seen in any tournament on Trackmania. Like, you couldn't pick a winner at the start, and Spark somehow brought back the consistency after coming back from the lower bracket.
I loved seeing that Spark could, do that lower bracket run. It really made the entire competition very, very questionable at every moment. The upset came through, and we nearly saw Pran with the opportunity to even take that from Spark, who won the entire event. So, Pran, you've got to pay attention to Pran there. He was the second youngest, if you count those top 4 there, and possibly third youngest in the tournament, I believe. So Pran has a future ahead of him there. Picked up by Team Hot, you can see why.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm just saying this in general, the world's got to watch out for the Indian Trackmania tour community. Like, there's some very, very underrated players over here that have a very bright future in the scene. If they keep grinding, I can see them making the world tour easily coming up.
I mean, Spark and Iridium, they only started playing in 2021, this version of Trackmania. They're not the old pros. They're not the old guard. It is time for a new generation to come through, I think, on many fronts, and that is what we're seeing across the board right now, though. You've got to give it up to them in multiple ways, though. Spark and Iridium both having a massive, massive input into the setup of this tournament in general. It has been absolutely awesome to be out here, so a big thank you to everybody for having myself on. Lumids, I'm sure you'd say the same as well, but it was great having you on with me, mate. Your first Trackmania experience, and I think it's been my favorite of all time. So, any final words before we close this out?
I've got to give the shout out to all the moderators and the staff behind the scenes that make this tournament run as smooth as they did. I have never seen a tournament run on time so well, back-to-back days, but as this was my first ever Trackmania cast and their first ever experience running behind the scenes for a tournament, I couldn't have asked for a better bunch of people to do it with. And thank you so much to everyone for allowing me to be here and casting for you. I appreciate you having me. Big love to all of you.
Yeah, and I mean, we had, I think we had about 50 viewers there at one point. I don't know if that was even our peak. We may have gotten above that. So thank you for everybody for turning out. Thank you for the appreciation. It's actually more of a thankless job than you would think as a caster out here. So really appreciate when you guys come through with the loving comments and stuff as well. So it has been an awesome tournament. Thank you all for turning out. Thank you to the staff. Thank you to Lumids. Thank you to myself, I guess, while I'm chucking them out there. We will see you next time. Thank you to everybody. And this has been the Indian Trackmania Cup ITC number 7. closing out, a big congratulations to our top 4, and we will see you next time.
See you.